Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week, we look at McIntosh, Florida, where a love triangle spins out of control, causing jealousy, plotting, and one very messy murder. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
We got Christmas behind us. Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and New Year and every other thing that's around here. Thank you. Well, everything's weird. That's what I mean. We don't mean weird shit that, see, we already started out on a bad foot. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Andrew Jackson, right out of the gate on that. We've never had that early accidental insult of a people. But good job, Jimmy. We got off. We're starting out hot out of the gate. Yeah. This is good stuff.
Fantastic.
We are excited to be here tonight, of course. Next week, by the way, if you notice, this is episode 99, making next week our 100th episode, which is a big deal. We'll do a crazy case. It'll be awesome. It's also our first week on a new network next week. Just a little quick show note here. So if you listen to us exclusively on the Podcast One app, you're going to want to find something else before next week to do that. To listen to both Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder, because I don't think new episodes will be loaded onto there. I don't even know if our old episodes will be on there. I'm not sure how that'll work, but we're moving to a new one. So I don't know. Spotify's good, or Stitcher, or there's a million other ones that people go Go to social media and ask for a platform. You will get no shortage of answers. Everyone will tell you exactly what's the best and why.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot to choose from. So do that. Thank you guys for that. This is going to be fun. The sound quality will actually be improved because we record this in a pristine fashion in a nice studio, and then we have to kind of downgrade the quality of it to be able to upload it at our current network to be able to do it. And then this one we're allowed to have a larger file, whatever. So it'll be a better sound quality altogether. So it's a good time. Thank you, folks, for everything. Thank you for all your Christmas cards this week too.
Shit.
We got a lot of Christmas cards. That was really sweet of you guys. Thank you guys for that. Thank you for everything you sent us. And
you got to tone it down on the glitter.
Well, a lot of glitter on these Christmas. We mean card makers. You need to stop putting glitter on every goddamn card. My hands are covered in glitter from opening your Christmas cards. But thank you guys. It's not your fault. You don't make the cards. But
it's a good thing we did that around your wife, and I'm single. Because
yeah.
I don't want to have to go home from somewhere.
No, my hands are covered in glitter.
These were Christmas cards.
Yeah,
you don't understand.
We're very festive people. You don't get it, do you? So, yes, thank you for everything you've done there. Everyone, for your iTunes reviews / Apple Podcast or whatever the hell you listen on, the purple icon on Apple there. If you could do that, if you haven't done it yet, give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Tell us you're following instructions or directions, or it doesn't really matter. It's not for our ego. It's just for business purposes. It helps drive us up the charts. So that's very helpful. Thank you for everyone that's done that. Thank you guys for everything you've done. Our long list of producers this week that we'll talk about in a second. You can do everything small town murder related by going to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Right.
Everything there is for the taking. You can get merchandise and cool things with sayings on it. And by the way, ringtones are coming out this week, so don't worry about that.
Right.
We are recording a bunch of stuff, and we'll get it out there. We're not going to release everything at once. Right. It's going to be gradual, but we'll release a few, the theme songs and a couple of choice little clips.
Have some new skins from time to time.
That's the thing. We got to have some updates, some involuntary updates there. You're going to... So do that. You can find everything there. Tickets to 2 different live shows. Our 2 live shows we have on the books right now are January 25th in Seattle and, of course, February 21st in West Palm Beach. Right. Also, if you want to be a producer, you can do that on the page. Just take the link over to patreon.com/crimeinsports or over to PayPal. Use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. You can donate and be one of our producers, and we thank you guys so much for that. Got to do the disclaimer.
Right.
Of course, this week, quickly before we get into this show, because this is a crazy ass show we have in front of us here. We did it as a live show, and it is fucking bonkers.
Which one?
It's you'll find out which one. We're gonna get into it in 2 seconds.
Okay.
This is a comedy podcast, everybody. This is we're comedians, so we're gonna make jokes.
We will.
The story is 100% real. Everything that happens is 100% real. We're just gonna make jokes about it, not about the murder so much. Although people have asked us, what's so funny about murder? A whole lot of shit.
Tons of stuff.
Everything around it, pretty much, because that's a situation that's clearly deteriorated, whatever situation that is. And we'll find some comedy in there somewhere, whether it be a small town, police force, some lawyers that don't do their jobs correctly, things like that.
Behavior, for
some
sure.
behavior, a murderer. Let's make fun of them. What else can we do? Either way, though, what we try to do is we try to go out of our way not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families, because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's true.
And that's the truth of the matter. And if that sounds good to you, awesome. Welcome aboard. We're going to have a good time. If you think that true crime and comedy never go together, this probably isn't going to work out. We tried it, and we had a first date, and it just wasn't.
You're pretty.
We're handsome and pretty at the same time, and so are you. But it just didn't work out. Sorry, I don't know. Thank you. Have a good one. For everybody else, I think it's time to shout from the highest rooftops and mountaintops that you can. Shut up and give me murder.
And give me murder.
Let's do this. Let's go. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
I would love to.
What do you say? It's the holidays are over.
Yeah.
Air
traffic is fairly slow now, isn't it? Are people still going home?
No, we're going home now. It's busy as shit through this whole weekend, and then all the college kids will go back to wherever the hell they came from, and it's going to be a mess. So we're going to go to Florida.
Okay.
Not voluntarily.
Oh, no.
We'll be dragged there kicking and screaming, except on February 21st, where we will voluntarily pay exorbitant amounts of money to fly into West Palm Beach for some reason. Absolutely.
What the fuck is with that?
Ridiculous airfare cost to get there. So please come to that show. Otherwise, we're going to lose money on that show because it's really expensive to travel to this goddamn place. So drive there from whatever nook and cranny and swamp in Florida you reside and come see us. Goddamn Florida. So let's go to Florida.
Fantastic. This flight's going to be so expensive.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, luckily if this is for the show, Jimmy, right now.
Yeah.
So, this is
an expensive travel too.
It is. We're going to McIntosh, Florida.
There's no direct flights.
There's no direct flights to McIntosh. You don't even know where McIntosh is. It's terrible. It's in Central Florida, which would be, I'm talking where the panhandle and the peninsula, which I'm sorry, is just a water panhandle. That's all you have there is a water panhandle and a land handle. A land handle and a water panhandle. And where they meet, where the taint of Florida would be, right in the crotch area, is McIntosh, Florida. Right in the middle of two panhandles.
That's called a weld.
That's a weld, yeah. This is
that seam on your ball sack. That's called a weld.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
That's fascinating to a young man, by the way. When you're a young boy, you're very confused by that. You don't understand how that happened. You wonder if there was an accident at some point.
I was this close to asking my mom if I had an operation. And then I was like, hey, Mom. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, never mind.
It just makes so much sense.
Let's not talk about
Jesus Christ.
If I did have an operation, I don't want to know about it.
Yeah,
Everything seems to be operating. Never mind.
Never mind. I think it's everything seems to be working, but I'll let you know if that falls apart because that weld looks like it could. It's not going to hold. That weld could just open up at any moment.
What apprentice welded me together? Because this is definitely not the work of a journeyman.
No. Hey, Jimmy, want to play basketball? No.
Fuck no.
No, my weld's looking weak today. What? You're what? I'm going to lose my nuts. I'm sorry. I can't come. I'm going to go home and play video games instead.
I can't come with you. I'm going to stay home and see if I can come by myself.
to keep it real tight on the home front. Keep it real close by.
This is not handiwork of a very skilled marksman.
This is it's a hell of a way to start out the show. Let's talk about nutsacks for 3 minutes.
And the weird seam that runs down the center.
We rarely talk about balls of any kind on this show. That's the thing. Anatomy rarely comes up unless it's a scientific way.
Yeah.
And instead, let's talk about it. And it had to happen. I'm sorry.
We focused a bit too hard on it.
Well, that's where this town is. Yeah. So it's relevant. Okay. It's double panhandle power, panhandle squared, coming at you. It's an hour and a half to Orlando to go south down to Orlando, and it is if you want to go someplace that's slightly better, or 5 hours to Miami. Keep going down the coast because I know Orlando's in the central.
Yep.
Keep going, you'll get to Miami, and that's probably much better. I would assume.
It's probably the only place in Florida that's worth a fuck.
I don't know.
It just depends on the time of day or year too. Because you got hurricanes that go right the fuck through there.
I've never been to Miami. It's never. I've been to Tampa. I've been to Orlando. I'm not impressed. I got to be honest with you.
I've been to Port St. Lucie. I've been to West Palm. I've been to Fort
I've been to West Palm too. Yeah, obviously. It's at the Improv there. Duh.
I've been to St.
It's a great club.
And
we'll be there February.
Yeah, we will. I've been to all kinds of places around Florida.
Yeah.
But I've never been to the places where people go for fun.
Yeah, no, that's I went when I was 9, and I went. I went to see my grandmother in Tampa.
Yeah.
And she was there for the winter because she was 83. You know what I mean? Because that's where people do in Tampa.
And you spent your summer from school with an 83-year-old?
No, we went for 2 days or something.
Okay, yeah.
It was
much better.
Jesus Christ.
Spent a whole fucking summer there?
Here we are, Nan. Let's listen to Nan be racist for 3 months down south. Perfect. Did you see all those black people at the Publix or whatever the grocery store is
Publix,
down there?
Yeah.
Jesus. No, Nan, I didn't. There was Dominicans, too. Okay, Nan, that's great. Wonderful. That's all she needs to do.
I went and visited Bedpuddle's dad down there and had to listen to him tell me about how bad alcohol is while he blew fucking weed smoke in my face.
Well, he had a point. The man had a point.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
You're getting fucked up one way or another,
sir. Let's not judge. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes to Monticello, which is the first small town murder in Florida that we did. It's in Marion County, zip code 32664, area code 352. It is an excessively tiny town in terms of area. It's 0.70 square miles. So not even a square mile.
No.
Tiny town. Jesus Christ, by the way. The motto of this town, a little frightening. Motto is, quote, "Welcome to McIntosh, a step back in time."
No.
Which any southern town stepping back, I prefer, look out, black people, they're starting again. I think that's more accurate.
Any minute
Watch
now.
out.
Yeah. You're not safe here.
They're longing for times gone by. It's not.
They're longing for yesteryear.
This isn't going to be good for you. Let's just say that. Let's get the fuck out. Go someplace better. It's Florida anyway.
Yeah.
But Jesus, it's going to be worse soon.
And Floridians are longing for something. That's terrifying.
That's terrifying. They shouldn't be getting together on anything down there, except for a hatred of tourists, probably. So the history here, most of this history I got, by the way, from an account of Jesus Christ. You want to read something boring?
Yeah.
Read an account of plantation life in Florida in 1851, kept as a diary by a guy named George Houston. That's boring.
Yeah.
It was fucking boring. I don't know if you've never, I guess, spoiler alert, if you're not planning on going back to 1851 and hanging out on a plantation, not a lot happens.
No.
To be honest with you. Not a lot to really write about.
Yeah.
You pretty much same thing every day.
Yeah.
Maybe someone dies in the field or something. Outside of that,
at your hands.
Well, yeah, at your hands. One of the mules died while pulling a cart today. Nothing fucking happens. It's just the wheat grew another inch. There's just nothing you can do. It's insane. The whole area kind of got cooking in 1828, around there, which is ironically the same time that Andrew Jackson was elected president of the United States. So, Jimmy, I love if someone's listening for the first fucking time. If they're just first time, they're like, what is wrong with you? He's talking about ball sacks and he likes Andrew Jackson. What the hell is wrong with these assholes? That's the beginning there. In case you don't know, Jimmie once in a while completely accidentally says something terrible while meaning something not terrible, entirely different, and that's known as an Andrew Jackson moment, where he accidentally channels the former president, who was not known to be a tolerant man. So let's find out about that, actually. And actually, his intolerance is what started this area.
Really?
Yeah, because as this is what they wrote back then, quote, "As a security measure and a way of easing land hunger, the United States adopted a national policy of Indian removal."
The policy to get the
which
fuck out?
sounds like there's a bunch of dead Indians and you're just removing them to make the place more inhabitable, rather than live Indians living with their families and doing things that they've been doing for long periods of time, and you deciding that you wouldn't like them to do that anymore. And because of your land hunger, you instead would like to take all that shit. That's pretty much what happened there.
This is an interesting 3-second rule. I've been on this land 3 seconds. It's mine now.
It's mine now. Well, and in this it says, a policy of Indian removal, essentially trading lands in the West acquired by the Louisiana Purchase for those held in the East by the tribes. That's not a trade.
No.
That's like, I'll take your Mickey Mantle rookie card and I have 1987. You have I have a 1987 Jody Davis, so you can have that. You have my Pat Tabler and I'll have your Willie Mays rookie. That's what that is. It's not the same thing.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Indians infielder.
That's a fantastic reference.
It's a long story why I remember that guy, but Pat Tabler from the 80s. He molested me, Jimmie. Pat Tabler never molested me. I promise you that. I've never met Pat Tabler, but he was an Indians infielder.
And a terrible one.
And he wasn't bad. He was serviceable.
He was decent,
not a
but
Hall of
his baseball
Famer
card ain't worth a dick.
No, it's definitely not. No, it's definitely
not
not.
worth the weld he's got.
No, it's not worth all that damage to his nutsack welt and all his fears. But this was the quote trade was, you guys can have, Oklahoma and shit like that, and we'll take this stuff where shit grows.
Keep going west until your children and old people perish.
Yeah,
then stop.
Then stop there. shockingly, by 1835, open warfare erupted. Surprising, right? You wouldn't think that would happen when you try to trade lands involuntarily.
You think they started out heading west, and then they were like, there is nothing worth a fuck. We're heading back.
You notice it keeps getting worse?
Right.
I mean, I hear it gets better eventually, but not now. This is getting worse. It's real dry. It's bad stuff.
Let's head on back and fight these pale-faced fucks.
Yeah, well, a Seminole warrior with a few of his followers killed an Indian agent who was working for the U.S. government.
Yeah.
That was his official title, Indian agent, a guy named Wiley Thompson at Fort King, which was, they killed this guy. So the U.S. Army said, well, let's have a fucking show of force here.
Yeah.
Fuck this little band of assholes.
Yeah.
We're going to send 108 people, 108 soldiers to quell this whole thing. So they sent it, being led by a Major Francis Dade, and they were ambushed and wiped out except for one soldier.
Yeah.
One soldier came straggling back
Hell yeah.
to camp there to tell the story.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was pretty
beautiful.
It's pretty fucking badass. Yeah, he got back to Fort Brooke, which is in present-day Tampa, to tell of this ambush and having 107 people wiped out by a much smaller force.
Was Wiley like somebody's nephew? They were
I'm
like, we
sure.
got to give him a job.
I'm
Make him
sure
an
he
Indian
was.
agent.
Yeah.
Make up a title.
He was like that guy in Casino that did the slots. Remember? And he's like, I don't care if either you were in on it, you're too stupid to know what's going on.
Right.
Either way, you're out. He's that guy, basically. And they were like, for Christ's sake. He got butchered by the Indians. Well, I don't have to take care of him anymore. He was really getting to be a burden.
Right.
So, so this was the beginning of the Second Seminole War. This lasted from 1835 all the way to 1842. So 7 years of fighting in Florida.
That's a long
which
time.
is a long time. It was a lot of guerrilla warfare. The Seminoles they were really into guerrilla warfare. Obviously, they were outnumbered and out equipped, and so they held their own.
Seminoles were the largest group of Indians in I hate calling them Indians. Doesn't that feel shitty?
Yeah. Well, then some of them they say this. They call I don't know. They call themselves Indians, and then you go, they're this Indian tribe, so you respect that, and you want to call them whatever the hell they call.
I just feel like a piece of shit calling him Indians.
The man wants to be called Muhammad Ali. God damn it, we should respect his wishes and call the man Muhammad Ali. You've never seen Coming to America? That's your fault
You're
for not understanding
you
that
need
reference.
That show.
I'm sorry.
You need that in your life.
You need that fucking movie. Yeah. So anyway, so this is a lot of people left. It damaged the economy, obviously, because there was always attacks and there was fight. When open warfare breaks out in the street, commerce suffers.
Yeah.
It's just hard to feel good and buy shit at that point. So, at this point, the John Houston McIntosh, he was a Colonel John Houston McIntosh. He had a kind of a sugar plantation where they also processed sugar. He's big in the sugar industry back then. It was destroyed in the Second Seminole War, all of his sugar works.
Oh boy.
In about 1837.
That shit burns.
It burns. Yeah, it burns pretty good. There's a bunch of pictures of it, and you can see it's basically just a plaque that says this was the sugar works, and then like 4 kind of burnt concrete, half walls of that look like there was a Civil War battleground that was destroyed from the war. A lot of burning and shit like that. The depictions of this war in the newspapers were what's the word I'm looking for? Racist would be the best way to put it. There's really no other way to put it. They were really, even if you're racist and you're going, come on, they were more racist than you're willing to be. I guarantee it. You'd see him and go, oh, Jesus Christ.
Can't do that.
Wow. Yeah. That is just excessive. I mean, it was fucking racist.
Right.
Real bad stuff. All of these things here. Now they had all of these after the war and everything. They wanted people to settle there, obviously. And, so they would send pamphlets places up north, anywhere close where they think someone would want to move to Florida. They would send pamphlets out saying, hey, move here, cheap land. They do it now in Florida. They still beg people to come there. They sent out shit saying that in 1885 they would donate a lot within the residential area to, quote, any settler who would build a house of a certain value. So that's it. You build a half decent house and you can have the plot of land.
You're saying no sticks and
no sticks.
cowhide?
Yeah, I think that's also, I'm sure there was other considerations too. I'm sure there was bribery and what religion are you exactly?
Right.
Oh, you're Episcopalian. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm a Baptist, and this one who the fuck knows what the hell.
Whatever gets along with each other and has enough money.
Yeah, who knows what was divided, but they had circulars printed and distributed throughout the North promoting come to McIntosh here. By 1895, they had a doctor, a postmaster, a Western Union, a church, a meat store.
Yeah.
Gotta have a meat store, Jimmy. A school, a drugstore, an ice house for the corpses, obviously. A millinery shop, the McIntosh Hotel. They had a Christian mercantile store, which everyone needs in their town.
Shit, yeah.
Second we get into town, two things I look for. I look for the dry goods store, like I talked about, and the Christian mercantile. So where can I get my Christian mercantile?
I'm usually looking for the wet goods store,
and then the dry goods,
the meat store,
and then the Christian mercantile.
Yes.
Don't before you go back to the McIntosh Hotel, you need to stop at the mercantile store.
Is it meat shop? Is that what it was?
Meat store they called it, which I think that's a butcher shop.
Sounds like a gay bar.
Weird. It does. Somehow, though, meat store sounds worse than butcher, which is way worse. Butcher's a verb. Like, that's a meat shop. Store is exactly what it is. It's a fucking store full of meat. The butcher that's a horrible thing.
That's a thing a guy does.
You call a serial killer, he's the butcher is coming. It's like, that's a scary... It's so fucking weird. They had a Masonic hall because,
gotta have those.
Had to have that. The town was incorporated by an act of legislature in 1913, and they built Town Hall, which has not changed since then, and looks like a double wide trailer.
Perfect.
It's the size of it's the size of like a triple wide trailer, but it's just this like manufactured weird little building.
What year was it?
1913.
Okay.
And they're like, we don't need to improve it. It's fine. It's a goddamn mess. It's super historic, this town. In 0.70 square miles, which is the town, they have 68 sites listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Wow.
In 0.7 square miles. So that's pretty much everything in the town is historic, and that's what it is. That's why it's a step back in the past, because it's just nothing's changed since the 30s is what they say, which, like I said, that sounds a little frightening.
Yeah.
Now
I'd like to see it, though. You know what I mean? I'd still like to see
You
the
have
town.
seen the town, actually.
I mean, I'd like to visit.
No.
Oh.
You've seen the town in detail, and I'll tell you why in a second here, and the most exciting thing about this town. But resident review of this town. Normally, I like to find something that's, someone who hates the town, because that's more fun.
It's a blast.
Everybody likes this town that reviews it. I'd say it seems like just the town council reviews the town, because this I found the most positive one and the most full of shit one that somebody on the take wrote here. It is. It's very full of shit. Okay. You'll see what I mean. Quote, McIntosh is straight off a Hallmark card. Love my town and the memories I've made here. Stop by and relish in the coziness. Who speaks like... No,
Nobody.
People don't speak like that. And then the closer, every face is familiar and inviting. No, that's that. You hired a marketing company to write that. Is exactly what you did. You said, come up with a slogan, a step back in time, work on our reviews on all the websites, really fucking spruce us up, guys. That's what they did. 5 stars, obviously. 1991, why I said you've seen it is because McIntosh hosted, this is exciting because we've talked about it a lot, hosted the filming of the movie Doc Hollywood.
Oh, shit.
So you've seen this town. That town of Grady, Missouri, was it, or whatever? In the movie.
Is that what it was?
Grady something.
They tried to say Missouri?
Who the fuck knows? It was Grady something, but it's actually this town. That's, if you've seen it, Michael J. Fox, he fucking crashes and he's stuck there and all that shit, and he has to be the doctor.
Right.
And this is Michael J. This is not his fault. This is
the shaky stuff?
Pre where he might have been a little shaky on the steering wheel. Let's just say this is an actual accident that was not his fault. He crashed. And
they had to make it up in like Missouri or Mississippi or
somewhere because it's got to be on the way from D.C. to Beverly Hills.
Right.
So he wouldn't go to Florida.
No,
that would be
no reason to go
all the way down there.
Why are you driving the whole coast, dickhead?
What's happening to you here? Maybe he needed to clear his head. But no, he had to get out there. There was a time frame. Right. People in this town, small town, population is 461, which is up 12% since 1990. Now, we know exactly who's moving there, too.
Really?
Based on these statistics. The median age here, normal in the country, usual regular, is 37.4.
Right.
Here it is 59.6.
Holy shit.
That is fucking old.
That's 22 years older than the average.
That is bonkers. We've never come close to that. We'll see like 45. Wow, there's got to be a lot of old people. 60. That means for every baby born in this town, there's a 120-year-old man or woman. And
that is fantastic.
Dude,
for anybody that's in their 20s, there's somebody in their fucking
somewhere
80s.
In their 80s. There has to be. It's crazy. The 60 to 84-year-old demographic is off the charts, over double the national average. It's even high for Florida, which is the coroner's waiting room to fucking begin with. So it's even old for there.
God, that's dark.
It's not very dark. It's true. 59.6 is the average. Good
the coroner's waiting room is very similar to like death's, you know what I mean? Like death's
front door, yeah.
I just see like death coming out with the sickle and just grabbing
You don't
one.
even get to die on your own. You have to wait in the coroner's waiting room when you're on your last legs, and then you die and they drag you into the fucking to get looked at.
Sitting in their coffin.
Come on, Grandpa. It's like
Hold on,
Holy
I got
Grail.
a breath left.
It's like Holy Grail. Like, no, he'll be stone dead in a moment. And just throws his father on the pile.
Fantastic.
So, female population is 61.5%. It's usually about 50-50, maybe 51% female. So that just shows how old it is because you fuckers always outlive us. Now, household size, which we never talk about, but we have to here because it's relevant, is normally it's 2.63 people per household in the U.S. Here it is 1.76. So
not even two.
Old.
Yeah.
You move down there and someone dies off and you push on until you're 147 years old. Married population is more, it's a little bit higher than normal. It's 55%. Single with no children. Usually about 10% people are single with no children. Here, 0.00%.
Any single person has a child.
They have children if they're single, which is fucking bonkers. It's one of those, it's one of these towns where just old people are giving each other STDs like crazy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Passing shit around. Race of this town, excessively white. 93.3% white.
Is there even a reason to talk about the others?
0.0% black in Florida.
Jesus, how is that possible?
That's a step back in time, all right? Way back in time. 0.0% Asian. I don't know. 0.0% Native American.
Well, what the hell
Trading's
are they?
all done. And all finished trading now.
Got enough blankets.
Yeah, 6.69% Hispanic is what we have here. Right. So just pretty much white. It's the just Duger family. Yeah. Picture that. That's the town. 35.4% of the people here are religious, which, I mean, who the fuck knows? Because these people are so old, they might have forgot they believe in God. Yeah. Like, where do I go on Sunday? Shit, I don't know. I guess I'll watch the Dolphins. I don't know.
They met him so they don't have to pray to him.
So, yeah, the Buccaneers are on, I guess. I worship, who the fuck is their coach now?
I don't know.
They don't they fire people all the time? I'm going to worship Jameis Winston. Have that.
I don't even know if he's even playing anymore.
Well, he had a problem recently. Yeah. It's a long story. We'll catch up with that on Crime and Sports at some other venture, at some other time.
I met that Jesus once. He absolved me of all sins, and I don't need to pray anymore.
No, I'm all good.
I was there when he died.
0.1% Jewish in Florida. Yeah. So that's way low for Florida, obviously. It's not very religious here. Apparently 41% voted Democrat in the last election, 57% Republican. It's a lot of old white people. Yeah. Not a shocker there. Unemployment rate is about average, because old people don't count in that. Household income, usually it's about $53,000 is the national average. Here it's about $46,000. So not too far off, actually. The jobs are retail trade because it's a quaint little town to drive through, and healthcare is like double because everyone here is 150. Okay. You're either elderly or caring for an elderly person. I feel like if you live in this town, cost of living 100 is overall regular, normal, average. Here it's 98. So it's kind of right on the money, except for housing, which is about a 45. Median usual home cost is $216. Here it is $94,000. Oh. So it's pretty low. A lot of houses worth under $60,000, about 20% of the houses. Yeah. So not a very high end real estate here. There's some, but if we've convinced you to take a step back in time, we have for you the McIntosh, Florida Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is about $1,020, which is high considering how low the actual house costs are. I found one house here. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square feet. It's kind of lifted up off the ground. I don't know, so the fucking gators can run underneath and not into your living room. I have no idea what the reasoning for that is.
Crossing.
If it's a gator crossing we got underneath there, it's a breezeway for the gators. It's $65,000 though for this house. I also found a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,040 square feet. It's a little bit better. I mean, it's not horrible, but it still needs some work. $135,000.
2-bedroom, 1-bath.
Yeah, it's a weird thing here. And then I found this place here. You want to stretch out a little bit. 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It's on 10 acres of Florida. So how many deadly animals and insects and everything else you own is insane.
That's a lot
of swamp that you have. It's 2,961 square feet. It's a big house too. $439,000. For this little slice of Florida.
Steep.
It seems a little steep. It's a lot of Florida to own here. Things to do. We have the Friends of McIntosh, which is a benevolent nonprofit organization, which basically they say they encourage friendship, community spirit, and understanding among people of all ages in McIntosh. This is like the 100-year-olds to try to, I don't know, just integrate them with the rest of the population.
That is a positive word that sounds like an insult.
Benevolent? Yeah, it really does.
That sounds really vicious.
Yeah, I'm benevolent toward you. If someone said that angry, you'd be like, well, shit, sorry, what did I do to you? You know? It
sounds like a word that goes right in front of cantankerous.
It's you benevolent cantankerous some bitch. I'll tell you what. So, in October, there's also an 1890s Arts and Crafts and Antiques Festival there, which, sounds wonderful. Holy hell.
Anything antique, I'm out.
1890 style,
I like seeing the shit when it's like in somebody's house I know.
That's
like,
cool.
That's an antique rock. Tell me a story.
I don't want to walk around with other people looking at antiques. That's the problem. The antiques themselves aren't the issue. It's the people that are hunting for them who suck. So they suck. You know what, too? I don't feel bad about the ball sack and all that stuff, the seam humor and all that shit we were doing before, because there's no commercials this week. So
enjoy that.
Instead of commercials, you get jokes about a ball sack. So it's something you're not sure that you want to hear, but we try to make as entertaining as possible, just like the commercials. We try to throw a joke in there, something goofy, and, so there you go.
And tell you a story about an object that we believe in. We don't like to give you ads about things we don't like or use ourselves.
One thing we don't like to do is anything that's like a medical thing. We know, I feel like dick hard pills. We're not going to help you get your dick hard. Like, that's not our job. We don't know we don't know anything about them, and we're not going to fucking say, this is good for you, ingest this into your body and have it change a part of you. Like, that, we're not doctors, so also, I don't feel like we should be advertising that.
It's awfully weird to be like, hey, how's
your dick doing?
How's that after we just told you about a child that's missing?
How would we start the ad out, too? That's the other thing. Just going to take a quick break to tell you about dick hard pills. Hey, Jimmy, your dick been a little floppy lately? I know you've been complaining that your dick's just not quite what it once was. So I got something for you here. What are we going to put on a fucking sketch? All right, never mind. So, I don't know.
There's a lot of people that pay good money just to hear that.
That might be a good ad. That might be pretty funny. Maybe we should do it. Crime rate in this town.
Yeah.
Well, we're interested in here. Property crime is right at average, normal. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assaults, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is just above average. Okay. Maybe about 10% high, but not much.
10% high? That's pretty high.
That's a little high. I feel like maybe the old people forget that they're not allowed to hit each other, and then they start beating on each other, and then that's how they die.
There is a video online
inside the coroner's
of
waiting
old
room.
people fighting. That is
I've seen old men fights in there.
It's great.
But I'm so worried that one of them's going to fall and break their hip. I'm like, oh, God, don't fall.
Don't
Jesus Christ, don't fall. Like when they're standing up boxing, though, like an old man throwing a punch at another old man is
pretty awesome.
It's a beautiful sight. It's really art. It's really art.
They know how.
All old men know how to throw a punch. You had to know how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you're walking around in the 40s, at some point, someone was going to punch you in the face, and you need to know how to fight back. That's all there is to it.
Whether it's your dad or some stranger on the street.
Men go their whole lives without, and we're taking this down to men because I don't know about how women are. We're guys. We know about
women
this.
Don't fight. I don't want to watch.
I don't want to watch.
I don't like watching.
I know that sounds misogynistic. Or we can fight and you guys are great at it.
Yeah.
You seriously skilled fighters.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, skilled. I don't want to watch a woman get beat up. I don't like it. Even if it's by another woman.
Right.
I'm uncomfortable. I've been raised to not want to see women get beat up, and I'm uncomfortable watching women get beat up. Does that make me a misogynist? Somehow it does. I don't understand it.
Look,
I guess I'm an asshole.
Cardi B's a pretty tough bitch, and I don't like watching that video of her fighting.
No.
It's horrible.
And she is annoying. And I still don't want to watch her get beat up. But then I feel bad because, like, clearly she's special a little bit.
Yeah. There's something wrong with her.
She's a little special, right? There's something.
There's gotta be.
Like, when I listen to her songs, I'm like, is this a Make-A-Wish? Seriously. You're like, did they let her in the studio on a Make-A-Wish? Like, she was just like...
Are they doing this for real?
Yeah,
is this
like...
a real attempt at being a musician?
Because I'm thinking about the engineer listening to it. He's got to be going... Because, like, engineers hear lots of people, and they probably had talented people in there that can sing and can rhyme or can do all these different things and are good at it. And then he's probably like, what the fuck are
we serious?
What are we doing? Is she sick? Is she?
Oh,
okay. No, you're doing
going.
great. You're doing great, sweetheart. No, that's tell me. Texts. You can just make that Texas, and that's fine. We're okay with that. Everybody's fine with that, right? That's how we say it now? Yes, it's okay. You're okay. Here's a bunny rabbit for you for after. What the fuck is happening?
Hurry up. Iggy Azalea's got the studio next.
Jesus Christ. I don't even... Anyway, so let's talk about it.
That's terrible.
Is that, well,
oh, dear Christ.
There's a lot of shit in the world, Jimmy.
It is really... It's
There's a lot of crap. We try.
We did. We give
it a shot.
We quit now.
We hear all the shit.
We don't try anymore.
I'll try. It goes, hey, maybe this is good. Nope. Still not good. Shit. Damn it.
What happened to when women could sing great?
Well, women can still sing great.
Who?
It's just... There's a lot of them. Men can sing great. Women can sing great. A lot of people can sing great. They just don't have to now because everything you're running it through a fucking computer anyway, and everything you say, everyone sounds like a robot. So it doesn't matter whether you can sing or not. It's almost a hindrance if you can sing. It sounds worse like a robot. If we robot them up, it doesn't sound as good.
Somebody take her outside, kick her in the throat. She'll sound great.
Then we'll make it a robot, and then it's fine. You can go in there, and they'll make you sound great. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about a murder that we are going to have a hard time making sound great.
Fantastic.
It's tough. That little run was your commercial. So instead of commercials, you got jokes. Eat dicks if you don't like it. Moving on.
Again, Cardi B stink.
Yeah, and she's not good. So I'm sorry. Objectively, she's not. I'm sorry. Listen to fucking good music and listen to her, and you're like, no. And I don't give a shit what the genre is. Any hip hop. Listen to... Put on fucking Illmatic Nas and then tell me that that's as good as Nas. Just in terms of lyric. It sounds...
It's all gone so far downhill.
Well, because it's more about dancing.
I don't know what happened.
Because it's about dancing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because you can't sell albums. You don't make money unless white girls buy your albums, and white girls don't buy your albums unless they fucking heard it and dance to it.
Or they want to fuck you.
And I've talked to rappers have told me that, so shut up. That's not a fucking... That's what they say. Like, you guys sell music to white girls. That's what fucking makes money. That's where the profit margin is, they always say. So whatever. Anyway, let's talk about some people here. Let's talk about a white girl. A girl named Heather Strong.
Yeah.
Let's talk about her. She grows up in Mississippi. It's interesting because there's not a lot about her family life, but it doesn't seem like it would have been terrific based on what her decisions that she makes. At the age of 15, she hooks up with a guy named Josh Fulgham, also in Mississippi. They're both 15 years old, and they date and have just a real fiery back and forth break up and get back together teenage relationship.
High school relationship.
Like you do when you're 15 and you don't know what you're doing with a relationship. You break up, you get back together.
Real Eminem and Kim.
It's real Eminem and Kim. And it's very similar because also by the time they are 18, they have 2 kids.
Oh my God.
And they continue just, being teenagers, breaking up,
Jesus.
getting back together, having 2 kids. So this is a kind of a messy situation.
Yeah.
And Heather is a nice girl too. Heather's a good girl, like a good kid. She's a young lady when she's 15. She's good in school. Everybody says she's really nice. She's really polite. She she goes along with the shit her parents make her do. Like she's not a real rebellious, like, you know, I'm going to go out and run away all the time and do all that. That's not the type of kid that she is.
Yeah.
The only problem that she has is she can't stop being with this Josh Fulgham asshole who's not like her. He's just kind of a schmuck, and we'll talk about him and exactly what his issues are in a few here, but he's not good for her. And that's a hard life if you're 18 and you have 2 kids with somebody, and it's rough, man.
Trying to make the best of it, and
people fight through that shit and they do great by it, but it's a hole to start out in. Let's just put it that way. If there's everyone else is on equal ground, your head is sticking up out of that ground, seeing their feet going, shit, I'm behind, because it's just hard right away. You got an extra mouth to feed. You can't, when you're starting out, you can, whether it be work at a job and you're trying to work your way in so you can work for a little bit of money, so to try to work your way up the ladder, or whether it's to start your own business or whatever the fuck it is. It's harder if you have to have an income and health insurance because you have a baby. So that makes so that makes it really a lot.
In the 40s, it was a lot easier. It seems like,
because you could go to the doctor and be like, what is that, $6? I'll pay $1 a week for the next. Sure, no problem. You can't do that now. Now that'll be 4 houses worth of. I know you were here for 15 minutes, but that's $700,000. No, do today.
It's or else we're taking your house to start.
Or else we're taking you down to the coroner's waiting room, and you can. That's people who can't pay their bills.
They aren't treating you.
They stay down there. That's, by the way, for sure the name of this episode is the coroner's waiting room. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. But these two, they're together and they're trying their best. By their early 20s, they say they want to make a break from Mississippi. Try to start over. And you know what? Maybe they feel like this is 2003. Maybe they feel like a fresh start is what they need, because it's familiar surroundings, and who knows if they've broken up, got back together, and they were teenagers that have had kids. I'm sure there's family bickering, and
absolutely,
this one doesn't like this one, and they fight, and I don't like this boy.
Somebody's parents blame the other kid.
Exactly. So whenever there's a mess, it's somebody's fault in everybody's mind. So, and Heather's kind of the nice one, so they're all looking at Josh, and this is probably Josh's idea, put it that way. So, however this goes, they end up saying, we're making a break, we're getting the hell out of Mississippi, we're going to go somewhere.
Let me ask you something, Heather. You ever seen Doc Hollywood?
Have you ever seen Doc Hollywood? Now, hold on.
Hear me out.
No, I know it wasn't Michael J. Fox's fault. What? No, it ain't his fault.
We got 2 kids. I know a place where you can pay medical bills in pigs.
And pigs, they don't mind. The mayor dresses up like a squash, and girls pee in the woods to keep the hunters away. It's fantastic.
They treat tummy aches in Coca-Cola.
You're going to like it. I'm telling you right now. You're going to go, and you can just walk in and go, I'm feeling sick. Here's my pig, and then they'll just take it.
And they give you a Coca-Cola, and you're on your way.
Next time you get pregnant, pig and a Coke, and have that baby like nobody's business. Have mess around with all these. It's a pig and a Coke.
That is a hell of a medication.
Not messing around. None of this bills, and you got to fill out insurance forms, and oh my God, no way.
Trade your pig for a Coke.
Here's my pig, and I get a Coke with that medical treatment. Man, this is
a good ass day right here.
Exchange rate right here. I got a medical treatment. He gonna pull the baby out and everything for a pig, and he gonna throw Coke in.
The Coke's for me. You just sit there and push that baby out.
It's all good. So
we could split.
All right, fine. You can have a sip if you want. I know you're probably thirsty. All sorts of things coming out you down that side, but I'm thirsty too.
Suck your spit off the rim.
Yeah, you can do
That's
that.
gross.
Come on, pick that up now. So they moved to Marion County, Florida, which is the county we're in here. Moved to the McIntosh area. The actual site of what ends up happening is just outside of town, but it's in like an unincorporated area that's not whatever, but it's based around this town, and this is the main area that everybody's around for anyway. So while they're in Florida, they moved there in 2003. Shocker, it doesn't solve all their problems.
No.
Just like everything that people try to just immediately solve a problem.
It's still the same people involved.
Yeah. You know what we'll do? No. We're going to go on a vacation. 1 week. We're going to go to Hawaii. We're going to get back. Everything's going to be better and different. Same people.
Different people.
Same people. Now you fucked on the beach more. That's it. You fucked while you heard the ocean, and then you went back and fought more.
Right.
That's the only difference.
That's exactly what happened.
If we're gonna have a baby, it's gonna be nope. You know what that is? More stress now.
Right.
So you have to be to have a baby. Your relationship should be so good it can take a huge hit. Right. That's where you should be. You should be at the point where you're like, I love you so much. If you sucked 5 guys' dicks, I wouldn't mind. That's the level of stress that the baby's gonna cause. One baby equals 5 dick sucks in terms of relationship stress. I feel like that's the formula.
Sweet Christ.
Based on small town.
I've never been in a good relationship ever.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Because I would have murdered all of them for it.
Yeah, see, that's what happens. That's what happens, man.
Not just them. I'll murder those 5 dicks too.
God damn it, everybody's going down. Well, that's kind of what happens here.
Okay.
This is a mess, Jimmy.
Okay.
Now, in 2008, so they last 5 years in Florida of the same shit. Fighting, breaking up, getting back together. Now with 2 kids, not living near their... his family lives in this area.
Okay.
Hers lives in Mississippi.
Gotcha.
So he moved her away from her people, and so...
That's what it is.
Yeah, and so now it's... Jesus, for her, this has to be just a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
This is a mess for her. We'll find out what her job is here in a minute, too. Her life is not easy. We'll put it that way. She does not have an easy life, and more power to her. She tries her ass off to do what she needs to do and provide for her kids and all that, but the personal relationships really make it difficult here. Yeah. So they do this for 5 years in Florida, on and off, on and off, on and off. Finally, in June of 2008, she decides she's had enough.
Yeah.
And during one of their separations, she decides that Heather Strong decides that her and the children are going to move in with a friend of theirs, a friend of her and Josh's, a guy.
Oh boy,
a guy with not a couple, a guy with a couple of kids,
a single
guy with kids who's
She's moving in.
A friend of her and Josh's.
With her kids.
She's moving out. Okay, this obviously is going to solve everything, too. Josh is going to have no problem with this because he's, I'm sure, a real reasonable guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he seems like a mature young man. He's, everything that's been going on here. The plan is, for all public and private consumption here, that she will be the live-in nanny for Benjamin McCollum's 2 children.
Yeah.
She's going to move there, and in exchange for a place to stay with her kids, she's going to watch his kids.
Yeah.
Within 3 weeks, they're fucking.
Of course.
Heather and Benjamin are.
That's a lot of pornos start.
That's the problem. And that's just, they're young people and they're animals put in the same cage together. And so they're going to reproduce. It's just the way. That's how they get animals in the wild to reproduce.
It's just humans.
It's humans.
We're animals. That's just what happens.
They put them together. This is what ends up. Plus, I mean, Jesus, she's been in this terrible relationship since she was 15 fucking years old. If this guy's not a complete douchebag, she's probably like, thank Jesus, somebody else other than...
You took your shoes off before you came in the living room.
For the love of... Before you laid down in bed, never mind came in the living room. This is what I mean. Like, plus for her, I mean, imagine being in the same... She's in her fucking 20s. Yeah. Imagine for 10 years you've been in the same goddamn relationship with this fucking loser.
Right.
Good God. So...
This guy came home from a hard day's work.
Benjamin is actually... He's a hardworking guy. He has an auto shop that he owns and stuff. And he has like...
shit together.
He's got his shit together, sort of. I mean, more than Josh does by far. So, and for him, I don't know. He's a single guy. She moves in with her 2 kids. It's, what the hell? He probably likes her. Yeah. Heather's a nice looking woman too. She's nice. She's pretty by all accounts. She's smart. She's, sweet. There's nothing wrong with her. Yeah. She's a nice person. Yeah. So what the hell here? So they get together. Josh Fulgham, shockingly, not okay with this.
No.
He doesn't like the arrangement.
No.
He doesn't even know they're fucking. He doesn't even like the nanny arrangement. Never mind. He assumes.
He's got an inkling.
Because if it was him, he'd be fucking. And we know this. And this is what's funny, too, because he's upset. And this is what I don't get. He's upset that she moved out. They're having problems. Yeah. He's upset she moved out and is now living with somebody else, even though he is also having an affair with somebody else.
Oh, for Pete's
we'll call it, they're not married or whatever. I don't know. I think an affair is a little too highbrow for this situation. He's fucking around with somebody else. Okay. And by the way, he has impregnated this other person. So he's got a pregnant side chick, and he's mad at his
You can't do that.
at his ex-girlfriend for living with someone in a, for all public knowledge,
relationship.
Not for all public, not a non-sexual relationship
that's
is
a
what
good point. Yeah.
a platonic relationship for all to digest. He doesn't like that because obviously he's got something going on, so he feels. He knows.
What is that? I've asked.
Whenever people, a lot of times when people are super jealous, it's because they're fucking around and because they know they know the thought process. I would assume. I mean,
or they're just, do they feel like that? I don't even know what that is.
People who are liars and scammers are afraid people are lying and scamming them all the time because they're thinking they're always lying and scamming people. It's one of those things.
They don't want to be duped.
Yeah, nice people generally aren't like on constant thinking everyone's trying to scam them because they don't think that way because they're not trying to scam people. Yeah. That's kind of just how it works.
I just don't get it. I don't understand being mad at somebody when you're doing the same. When you're doing way worse.
That's what's insane. You've already knocked. Right. You would think he'd go, shit, cool. Now I don't have to explain to Heather how I knocked another girl up.
Exactly.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Fucking a good deal.
Done deal.
I don't have, because that was going to be a tough fucking conversation. Oh, by the way, I know we've been having problems and all. Have you met Amelia? And that's mine. So let's get together.
It's not regular beer. That's a baby.
That's a baby.
Yeah.
And it's Amelia Carr is her name, the woman he is having an affair with and has impregnated. She is there's 3 kids in her family. She's the middle child, all girls. So definite Jan Brady situation going on here. She's very smart. She's very intelligent. Her psychologist says her IQ is about 125. Okay. So that's well above average. At the age of 15, she has a rough childhood. We'll talk about her family because when we say rough childhood, we think like, usual abuses and things like that. This is next level right here in terms of what this would do to a person's psychology. And it's one of those things like we just talked about when you're scamming someone, you think whatever. If you have experience with that, then you're on a high alert. Yeah. So we'll talk about what her personality turns into this because of this. But at the age of 15, she reports to her school that she has been abused by her father. Okay, which is not her fault, obviously.
Right.
She, within a couple days, withdraws her statements and says that she made everything up. Okay. Within a couple days. Okay, so we don't know whether she did make it up or maybe she was then scared by her parents into retracting it. We have no idea how that, and we can't judge that. We just don't know.
That's terrible. It's a terrible accusation.
We hope it's not true. Right. Obviously, I hope nobody's. We don't want anybody.
It's true. I don't want that either. That's
what I mean.
Horrible.
That's what I mean. The whole thing is either way, it's not great. If she made it up, why? And if not, then holy shit, poor girl. So. This gives you a little more insight into her family, though. In 2004, February of 2004 to be exact, Amelia Carr's father was convicted of, this is fucking insane, of attempting to solicit the murders of his daughters and his wife.
Oh, my God.
Including Amelia. So he was attempting to hire a hitman to kill his entire family.
Does that... Wow. I'm trying to question in my head, does that mean he did it? Or
he's mad,
Or he's like, how dare you accuse me of that dirty shit?
I still didn't do it.
I'd rather be a murderer than a child molester.
I don't
which is
know.
true. I would be too.
Yeah, you're much better off. Yeah, at least if you're going to go to prison, if you're a murderer, maybe you'll get some goddamn respect. At least you're not going to be beat up by everybody there.
And I don't know that I wouldn't try to kill somebody that accused me of that dirty shit.
Not your daughter. I'd want to get her help. I don't know. I might take her out. Clearly, if she made it up,
that's a horrible accusation.
If she made it up, clearly she needs help. Yeah. There's something wrong with her, and you don't hire. And what do the other 2 daughters do?
That's a good point.
For the love of Christ, this is some collateral damage.
Yeah, if she made that up, a psychiatrist has to be cheaper than a hitman, right?
I would think so. We'll find out.
I would hope so.
We'll find out later.
Is that how fucked our medical science is? What is it?
Medical care? Is
that's
what you're looking
the word?
For? Yeah, that's the one.
Medical science? What am I doing?
I don't know. You're out of your mind.
leaps.
Oh, my God. So he's convicted of attempting to solicit the murders of his entire family. So he is sentenced to prison for this, which you would think you'd get a lot for.
Yeah.
You tried to kill 3 children and your wife. That seems like
throw for that.
You would think so. He gets sentenced to 4 years in prison, which is almost worth it.
Yeah.
That's almost like if you want someone dead bad enough, that's almost worth hold on a second. So if it works, they're dead, and that's what I want. And if it doesn't work, worst case scenario, 4 years in prison? I don't know. That's kind of shit.
Florida, you're a nutty fucking place.
almost worth stepping up and taking a swing at that one. You know what I mean? Well, fuck it. I might not be able to hit it over the wall, but what's the worst that could happen?
I think I could do 4 years standing on my head.
That's what I mean. That'd be like, the halftime shot at a basketball game for $1 million. And if you miss, you owe them $20. But if you get it, it's $1 million. You're all set. Now, shockingly, Amelia has some relationship troubles. Yeah. And good God, if your father maybe abused you and definitely tried to have you killed, you might be an untrusting. You are not even untrusting. You might have some relationship issues, not of your fault. I would say at that point. She's married twice already by her early 20s, and also we'll find out by the time she meets Josh, she already has 3 children.
Holy shit.
3 children, 24 years old, 3 children, and another one on the way, and they're all with different people, including Josh. And it's just she's had a lot of relationships, and a lot of them are violent and fiery. Because who knows? Like I said, her background, this girl never had a chance with that as her father.
And how old is Josh at this point?
He's 27, I think. In 2004, when this is going on, he was younger. He was like 23, I want to say.
3 kids now.
He's got a third on the way by 2008. So he's in his mid-20s, but he's got a third on the way. But it's obviously he can't afford any, which is another issue. Yeah. He's not exactly living in the lap of luxury and providing for these kids.
Gainfully employed.
No, well, we'll find out, like I said, where Heather works, and it's crazy. Amelia has already been married twice. One of her relationships ended when she filed a restraining order against one of her husbands for domestic violence, which, again, that sucks. Then she had some trouble with the law, some very Florida trouble with the law.
Yeah.
This is a Florida crime right here. This doesn't happen in Cleveland.
No.
I doubt this is ever. I would love if anyone out there works for the Cleveland Police Department and you have access to records and you can check stuff out, see if this has ever been prosecuted in the city of Cleveland, as opposed to probably happens twice a week in Florida. This is fucking insane. She is charged for her involvement in her ex-husband's scheme of grand theft of exotic birds.
What? They live in a town that is 0.7 square miles.
Grand theft of exotic birds.
How many can possibly exist?
What birds were they trained?
Yeah, they trained to say the N-word.
I'm going to steal me a meth falcon. You just send him out, he gets meth and brings it on back to you. I'll tell you what, boy, it's something else.
drops it. The code word is the N-word.
Code word.
You heard that squawking?
He knows that.
Meth's coming.
He gives it back. You hear that? You hear a bird say the N-word, you just hold your hands out. He's going to drop a sack of meth right in your hand, boy. That's how you know.
Meth falcon.
Meth falcon. I don't know. What else would you steal?
They're very green.
That's the thing. It's a meth falcon. It's Jesus Christ.
It's tropical.
They're very tropical down there. It's very beautiful.
Orange beaks and shit.
It's fucking some Fruit Loop shit going on. She, at this point, she is charged and put through the court system and is sentenced to 2 years of probation.
Wow.
So between theft of a meth falcon and trying to kill your whole family, there's really not that much of a difference.
Yeah.
2 years probation, 4 years in the joint. He probably did 2.5 and got out. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is not much difference.
Are there stipulations on that probation? Like, you got to stay 50 feet away from any exotic bird stores.
No bird stores. No going to the zoo.
Right.
You're not allowed at the zoo for at least 5 years. You have to go register at all the zoos so they know you're there. Jesus Christ.
Can't even watch cartoons with birds in it.
No.
If a commercial for Fruit Loops comes on, you got to change the channel.
You got to change the fucking channel. I don't care if they got a new flavor. Fuck that. Her new color, they're all taste the same, but I still won't eat the blue ones. It doesn't matter. This is a mess, obviously.
Okay.
So, yeah, she, she's had a very Florida life.
Yeah.
Husbands and father trying to kill her and exotic theft of exotic birds. It's been very Florida for this poor young lady. And now she's got 3 kids, and she's a bunch of them. One of the kids that she has is with an ex-boyfriend, one with each husband and one with this ex-boyfriend that we're going to talk about, and then the other one with Josh Fulgham, who is Heather Strong's ex.
What the fuck?
It's a lot. It's a lot, and we'll talk about it. It's a lot to sort out. We're going to call her 3 kids and 3 kid meth falcon. So 3 kid meth falcon is Amelia Carr here. 3 kid meth falcon. One of her kids is with an ex-boyfriend named Jamie Akome, and we'll talk about him because he weaves his way into this whole thing like a virus as well. Wow. So June 2008 is when Heather Strong moved out with the kids to be the live-in nanny for Benjamin McCollum.
Right.
We talked about that. Okay, that's before. Now, so that is Heather Strong, the one from Mississippi who does not have 3 kids and does not have a exotic bird thing. She has 2 kids and did not try to steal a meth falcon.
Okay.
Now, June 2008 is when she moved out. By the way, when she moved in with Benjamin McCollum, you know that Josh had a problem with it because he stalked and harassed them for 6 straight months up until November. He stalks and harasses them, repeatedly threatening them both with a gun, by the way, too. This isn't just like calling them up being like, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
This is like they come out of the grocery store and he's there with a gun talking shit to them.
What the fuck?
He's a crazy person, this fucking Josh Fulgham. This whole time, by the way, he's got a pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
What the shit? You got a life going, man. Just go do you.
Go do you. Get paid in pigs and move the fuck on, man. The hell, bro. So November 2008, this is, 5 months and change after Heather moved in with Benjamin. Josh Fulgham, who's been stalking them for 6 months, even though he has 3 kid meth falcon there on the side, who is pregnant. Out of nowhere, he stops stalking and harassing Benjamin and Heather because he proposes to Amelia, to 3 kid meth falcon. Proposes to Amelia Carr, probably opposes her too, but proposes to Amelia Carr in November of 2008, and she accepts to have her 3rd husband also, which is interesting. This whole time, by the way, this is the fucking bonkers part. Okay. Now, this is how enmeshed all these people are. She is now, okay, well, let's start with Josh.
Okay.
Josh is now not stalking Heather and Benjamin anymore because he has Amelia and they're pregnant and he's engaged to her.
Right.
Okay. During this whole thing, even during the time that Josh was stalking and threatening Heather and Benjamin, Amelia, 3 kid meth falcon, was babysitting Heather Strong's 2 kids this whole time. She was fucking Josh and babysitting his kids for his ex-girlfriend who Josh was currently stalking and threatening with guns.
How do you... Heather comes over. Your husband... could you tell your boyfriend to stop pointing guns at me?
The fuck is going on?
Now I'll be back from work in about 3 hours. What the fuck is this?
Florida.
Unbelievable.
This is Florida, Jimmy.
Thanks, Florida. You're really doling out a good one this week.
You are stacking it up, guys. I hope you have your worksheet out to keep track of these relationships because they get more complicated. I'm telling you right now.
Good Christ.
It is in a hilarious way. So anyway, so like I said, Carr fucking talks. She's like friends with Heather, but also her boyfriend, who's mad at her. The whole thing is bonkers at this point. Now, according to all their friends, everyone that knows them, Heather Strong was very happy with Benjamin McCollum.
Sure.
Was happy with their new life. They're together for, months now. Things are going well. This guy has, gainfully employed and everything is going well. This is kind of what she wanted. Okay. So December 26th, 2008, this is the day after Christmas, obviously. This is like today. Exactly 10 years ago today.
Over the ceiling going, what's today's day?
10 years ago, recording right now. Out of nowhere, Josh, who is now engaged to Meth Falcon, out of nowhere, marries Heather Strong.
No.
marries Heather Strong.
How did he even pull that off?
His ex-girlfriend with the 2 kids that was living with Benjamin McCollum marries her.
Wow.
So, what the fuck, right? This is insane. Just out of nowhere, marries her, went to Amelia one day and said, I need that ring back.
Yeah.
Literally, I need the ring back, and then went and married Heather with the fucking
same ring.
With the same ring.
What an asshole.
This is fucking bonkers. All of their friends were like, huh?
What?
What the fuck?
They're like us.
What? Huh?
Pardon?
Everyone in their car just went, wait, no, I got to rewind that. They didn't get married. No.
Certainly.
The ones you're saying they didn't get married, they're broken up. No, they got married. Yeah, He stopped stalking her for a month, and then I don't know if Christmas.
You missed him?
Christmas? Yeah. I mean, is that what it is? Is it Christmas? Do you get together to exchange the kids' shit and then? No, that's never made me.
In my experience,
that makes you happier.
Nope.
That makes you more. Glad I got out of this.
Yeah.
So this is fucking so weird. At this point, Heather tells friends that she loved Josh the whole time and she didn't know what she'd do without him and all that sort of shit. So she married him, and then Amelia is beside herself. Meth Falcon is beside herself because now she's pregnant with this guy's child who she thought she was engaged to, and now he went and married his ex-girlfriend. Jesus. What the fuck? So this is absolutely bonkers. Mm-hmm. So you expect now the ceremony should put all the bad feelings to rest.
Beautiful. Right?
They had 7 or 8 months apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now everything's going to be nice, like it was in the beginning. Everything's going to be.
All they did was fuck on the beach, James.
It's all it's going to be, man. This is going to be fucking all over Tampa.
Yeah,
pushing old people off of benches to fuck on them.
They're still the same people. God damn it, this is going to be terrible, isn't it?
Well, let's find out. 6 days into their marriage, six fucking days into their marriage.
6 days from today.
6 days from now
is 10-year anniversary of this.
Exactly. Josh is arrested for threatening Heather with a shotgun during an argument.
God.
They're married for 6 days.
Wow.
They've been back together for 6 fucking days.
I want to know.
He's threatening her with a shotgun during an argument. A shotgun!
Did he pull it out and aim it at her, or did he say, I'm going to go get my shotgun?
No, he had a shotgun. He was waving a shotgun around, which he's known to wave guns around. He's done it before with her, but they didn't report it to the police at that point because they were just trying to get away from him.
Yeah.
And now this time, I guess he really, really fucking scared her, so she actually called the cops, and he's arrested because you can't threaten people with fucking shotguns, especially not your goddamn wife.
Yeah.
So, not cool at all.
Florida.
Florida. By the way, who is this Josh Fulgham? Who is this Casanova who can go from fucking woman to woman and get this one to move out of a relationship after he got this one? Who is this magnet, this fucking Lothario of a chick magnet? Who is he? Well, let's find out who Josh Fulgham is. He has an IQ of 81.
Oh.
81, Jimmy.
Touch of the Cardi B.
Yeah. He's down in Cardi B level. Special. Yes. He's very special.
Yeah.
And expert. This is amazing. People that he was examined by doctors, and they say he has brain damage. This is in addition to his 81 IQ.
Yeah.
This isn't causing the 81 IQ. Is cognitively impaired.
Yeah.
Also not good.
What does that mean?
He's not good at putting shit together. He's not good at processing things and you got to give him specific A to B instructions. You can't say, do this and this, and if this happens, then do that. And maybe if that happens, work on it. You got to be like, go here and put this there, then call me, and I'll tell you what to do from there.
You can't tell him, go take a shower and put your pajamas on, because he'll come down soaking wet.
He'll come down like in the old Bill Cosby joke. I hate to quote a Bill Cosby joke, but it's a good joke. He'll come down with his pajamas stuck to him, soaking wet with suds in his hair. You'd have to say, then dry off.
Rinse off and then dry off.
But with this guy, you couldn't tell him that many steps. You'd have to go get in the shower, and I'll tell you to dry when you're done. And then once he's dry, you go, now put your pajamas on. Pants, then shirt. Yes, both.
Underwear first.
Underwear, not on the outside. And I say this not because to make fun of him, but because the expert who examined him said that, and this is a medical. Is that
really a Bill Cosby joke?
It is. It's about his son coming down, and you have to tell when he's alone with the kids, and you have to. They're fighting at bath time, and he's It's
the reason I said
it's
because
Ennis,
I've seen
the
a
dead
comic
one.
do that joke, and I thought it was a different comic.
Wow, no, it's Bill Cosby.
I don't want
it
to
is.
say
It's from himself, as a matter of fact.
It's a very famous comic.
1983.
And I don't want to feel like an asshole.
Well, guess what? That's fucking a dead Innes he's talking about, you dumb fuck.
Take it easy, Jay Moore.
That's a... Oh, no. Jay Moore, it's a rapist talking about fucking Innes, man. I'm sure he does it much differently. But still,
That's the exact phrasing.
It's the premise.
Exact phrasing.
I think we've all seen himself. Moving on. At least comedians. Anyway, an expert, a medical expert, said in a panel, in a group of other people who are educated and went to different schools for things, that 81 IQ, brain damage, cognitively impaired, and, quote, barely knows what's going to happen next.
No.
Barely knows what's going to happen next.
That's a medical doctor.
That is a medical professional told people.
That is awesome.
This is what's wrong with him. He's got this. He barely knows what's going to happen next, which is pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And so, why are two women willing to let you impregnate them?
Because
why?
It's a man's world. What the fuck?
Apparently
How
so.
is that?
This is bad. Come on, these are two intelligent, like reasonably whatever women who are somehow
Smart
drawn
girls.
to this fucking guy. And he's not a real, like, a handsome. You won't look at him and go, oh shit. Well, yeah, look at him. He looks like a fucking. He doesn't look like anybody that anybody would fuck unless they had game. I don't know how he's got game, because he barely knows what's going to happen next. He can't say, I'm going to say this and get her to do that, because he can't put those thoughts together. He lives in the moment, man.
So if you are single, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, because you should have women
figuring it out.
Move to Florida, and you're going to have it made. It's all laid before you. So this fucking relationships, this is crazy. So he's actually arrested, Josh is, for the shotgun assault. Like we said, she actually calls the cops. And he's charged with assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
So that's not, I have a shotgun and I'm thinking about using it. That's, I'm going to point a shotgun at you and say I'm going to kill you with it. Assault with a deadly weapon. And he remains in jail for several weeks because he can't afford to bail himself out.
Right.
And probably for the best that he cools off in jail. But during this time, so he goes to jail. And now let's recap quick. Was engaged to Meth Falcon with 3 kids there, breaks up out of nowhere, takes the ring back, gives it to Heather. They get married. 6 days later, he pulls a shotgun on her, ends up in jail. While he's in jail, Amelia, Meth Falcon, continues to visit Josh, or starts visiting Josh in jail, and they rekindle their relationship.
Wow.
So,
well, I know this one's shit over.
What
so. Hey, how are you?
Hey, hey. That's you got. Oh, it's white around your ring finger still.
I could get a ring for that to cover that.
Hi.
White around your finger still.
I see you've been out in the sun.
See a tan line. That is a healthy reminder of why I'm here.
Whoops. Yeah. So that's a whoops.
Yeah.
So this is super weird. So at the same time, both Amelia, now, even though somehow, by the way, even though he broke up with Meth Falcon and married Heather, during this time, Amelia still watched the kids. She still watched the kids.
This is crazy talk.
So Meth Falcon still watched the kids. Then Josh goes to jail. Now Heather's not visiting him, obviously. She's upset with him for pulling a shotgun on her.
Right.
So, Jesus Christ.
That's not something you have like in your pocket either. You got to go get that.
You got to get that. He went and picked that up out of a closet or something.
You got time to rethink this.
Or this guy might have just had it laying around with kids crawling around. Who the hell knows? So,
brushed a baby off.
Come on, get away from the shotgun. You ain't old enough for that yet. So not only is Amelia still talking to Heather and watching her kids when she needs her to while Josh is in jail, but Josh's mother also still talks to Heather like everything is fine. Okay?
Yeah.
So these two, Amelia, Meth Falcon, and Josh's mom, try to get Heather to write a letter to the prosecutor to mitigate these charges and say it wasn't that bad.
He didn't know this was going to happen.
It's like he barely knows what's going to happen next. He doesn't know, and all this shit.
Yeah.
And he thought you pull shotguns and then people do what you want. He didn't realize that.
Macaroni and cheese comes out the other end,
and then that's it. And then you eat dinner. Then it's dinner time.
I was going to spray her with Kraft.
So yeah, something like that. So also they're doing a little more research into the case. As the police do a little more research into this, they find out that Heather's mother, Carolyn, tells the police that 3 years ago Josh called her back in Mississippi when she lived in Mississippi and Josh and Heather were in Florida. Josh called Heather's mother, Carolyn, and tells her over the phone that he has Heather tied up, has duct taped her mouth, and stuffed her into the trunk of his car, quote, so alligators would eat her alive. I don't think he understands how trunks work.
No, unless he put gators in the trunk.
Did he put him in the trunk? I put her in there with gators and they're going to eat her. No.
Does he think that's the equivalent of putting medication in the cheese and then feeding that to your dog?
To the dog, just stuffing it in there. Here you go. There's no pill in there. Yeah.
These gators eat Monte Carlos.
Gators are known to love Fords. They only love domestic vehicles. If you put a Japanese car with a lady in the trunk, they won't eat it. But
put your ass in the trunk of this Contour.
An American car, they just spit out the headlights and eat everything else. That's it. Can't digest them headlights for some reason.
They're like corn.
It's weird. It's like corn. Yeah, they poop out whole headlights. It's real weird.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yeah, that's his whole thing here. Also, Benjamin McCollum, they talked to him, the one that she was living with, right. Yeah, obviously. And he says that Josh had called his house and his automobile shop, both of them, threatening to kill both him and Heather. Oh, and for good measure, burn Benjamin's shop to the ground.
Jesus.
So he's been very nice guy.
Busy.
He's been very busy. That's what I mean. He's hooking up with other chicks, getting them pregnant, making phone calls, threatening people with. He's got a lot going on for a guy who barely knows what's going to happen next. He does a lot of shit. Like, he does more than I do.
Yeah.
And I know I have a pretty good idea what's going to happen reasonably soon in the future. So I don't
depending on my actions anyway. Yeah. I mean, other people's actions, it's to them, and I don't know what's going to happen there. But I do know that when you pull a shotgun on people and they call the police, you're probably going to jail. That's probably what's going to happen next.
He didn't put those together, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Heather's cousin here, Misty Strong, she says that this relationship has always been a mess with Josh, and Josh has always tried to control Heather.
Yeah.
She says, quote, it was all about control. That's what it always boiled down to with Josh, which makes sense. Now, Jesus Christ. So eventually Heather decides to, the charge is dropped when Heather decides not to cooperate with the police anymore.
She's had enough of
this whole thing. Yeah. She doesn't want to do it. They wonder why. They wonder what changed her mind. Was it Josh's obvious charms?
Yeah.
I mean, was it that? Was it his did he put together a dissertation of reasons, a reasoned account of why this was a good idea? I doubt it. Instead, we find out that she dropped the charges because she was tired. Heather was tired of dealing with the whole situation because Amelia Carr, at 7 months pregnant, threatened Heather Strong by putting a knife to her throat.
Wow.
And tried to get her to fucking force her to withdraw the charges. She became so enraged by Heather's refusal to help that she pulled a knife out, grabbed Heather by the hair, pulled her head back, and held a fucking knife to her throat.
There's a baby in there.
That's some gangster shit.
Yeah, it is.
To grab a woman by the ponytail and pull her head back and hold a knife to her throat, that is some like Mexican mafia woman, like fucking Giselle de Blanco shit. Like, that's some cocaine cowboy craziness. No, who the fuck does that?
That's amazing.
That's some crazy shit. The only thing that saved Heather in this particular situation was somebody there to grab Amelia in a reverse chin lock or in a chin lock and pull her off of Heather with the knife. And that was the father of one of Heather's children, or one of Amelia's children, James Acome, Jamie Acome, who we've talked about.
Yeah.
So this Jamie Acome, who has previously had a child with Amelia Carr, now pulls Amelia Carr off of Heather Strong as Amelia holds a knife to her throat.
He's been with her, so he knows her disarming technique.
He knows. He goes, you grab her, and then she drops the knife. He knows her secret safety valve button. What the fuck?
This is incredible.
Because Jamie also, by the way, James is also friends with Josh Fulgham and Heather Strong, and everybody. They're all friends with each other. Now, Jesus Christ,
was the girl from the Crafts character in The Waterboy loosely based off of Amelia?
I feel like it's very possible. Familiar. Yeah, too bad it happened earlier. Maybe Amelia loosely based her life on the girl from the Waterboy, which is probably not the best
I forget her name.
person too. I do too, because she hasn't been in a movie in fucking 20 years, probably. I guess.
Think The Waterboy was her last movie.
Probably. And she went off into the sunset with a raspy voice, and that was that.
She's a Waterboy and the Craft money, and she's fine
it's like,
now.
Fuck this, I'm out of here. I don't need you people. Yeah, Hollywood didn't get rid of her. She got rid of them. Right. Like, I've seen enough. I've kissed Adam Sandler. I've seen the other side of hell. Thank you. I'm going back.
I took a bite out of an alligator and was in a scene with Lawrence Thomas.
I'm moving back to Minnesota. Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, Lawrence Thomas. Who the hell is that?
Jesus Christ.
You're going Lawrence Phillips and
I don't know
Lawrence
what I'm
Taylor
doing.
and Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Is that what you were going for? So I don't fucking know. Thomas. Who knows?
I know exactly who else he is.
I would hope so. So, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Lord.
It's at this point, Jesus Christ, this is insane. Okay. It's at this point that Amelia decides, well, I can't, do this myself, obviously. I got my ex-boyfriend's pulling me off of her when I try to hold a knife to her throat, which is frustrating for anybody. So she gets, Jesus Christ, she gets a Comey, the guy who pulled her off, her ex-boyfriend, father of one of her children. Amelia gets him in a room with one of his friends and has a proposal for them. Yeah. Okay. Now, I know you pulled me off, Heather, but what if you guys kill Heather and I'll pay you? Yeah. Is this hereditary or what? The fuck?
She knows that the sentence is only 4 years.
Yeah.
So.
She's like, fuck it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? That's for trying to kill children.
Right.
Fuck this lady.
This is an adult.
What does she offer for this service? This is a pretty hefty service to kill a mother of two. Yeah. That's a lot. You're asking a young lady.
I'll trade you a meth falcon.
My prized meth falcon. You say the N-word and he'll get meth from anywhere in the state. Tell you what. She offers them the princely sum of $500. Not a piece, Jimmy, to split. $500 to split between them.
That is amazing.
$250 apiece to kill an adult human being, mother of two children.
Wow, is that the going rate?
I don't think so. I think it's more. I don't think she knew what the rate is on the street because they said, no, thank you.
I will pay both of your NFL ticket this month.
Yeah, what is that? Sunday ticket this year on me, fellas. For each of you, not just for one of you. I will pay half your car payment for 1 month. What do you say? To take the life of an innocent mother of two.
If you both
snuff her out
have
in her prime.
Your own place, I will pay upwards your utility bills.
I'll do it.
And you know what?
In the summer when the AC's running.
You go crazy on that AC.
I don't give a shit. That's all right. Turn that window unit and crank it. I'm good for it. Wow. They said no, shockingly. Yeah. You'd imagine that's a very attractive proposal. They said no. So Amelia's determined, though. One thing about Amelia, when she gets something in her mind, is she does not let go. She is a dog with a bone. Yeah. She wants this shit. So she tells another friend of hers. Now, what you want to do, too, when you want somebody murdered, you want to tell as many people as possible, usually.
You got to really carpet bomb that
You got to tell everyone because no one will tell on you ever. That's the thing. No one will ever tell on you. It's just all confidential. When you're talking about murder, it's confidential. Everyone knows that.
Some really trusting friends you got.
Wow. She tells another friend of hers, so now this is 3 people she's told, and she tells this friend, not even offers the job to this friend, she tells this friend, do me a favor, put the word out on the street.
Don't do that.
Put the word out on the street that I'm looking for someone to kill Heather Strong. So put it out, tell a friend, ask a friend of a friend, whoever you know.
Can you hit the dark web and then, send out a black market telegram?
No dark web. Just go out to the bar and ask people if you know anyone that would kill Heather Strong.
Just go down to
Amelia's looking for
and
it.
Just open the door and shout it.
Anybody want to make a couple bucks on a murder? And how much money is she offering?
A couple bucks.
$500. She didn't even up the offer. She just said, tell it $500 on her head. Anybody who want? People are like, I'm not killing a lady for $500. She also says, I'm good for it because no one here has any money. So they're like, how am I going to get my $500? I assume that's the other thing. She thought that people would not, wouldn't trust her to pay the $500. So she says, I am good for it. I'll pay the $500 out of my income tax return. It's fine.
Your payday is going to have Lady Liberty right there on the check.
Whoa. What the fuck? So she's going to use her tax return. Well, at least she's putting it to use. She's not just going to piss it away.
Yeah.
She's going to kill a rival lover, a rival of her future ex-fiance's wife, I guess. I don't know.
That is pretty good use. That's really stretching your dollar.
It is. You're trying to get your money's worth. She's lowballing out there.
Yes.
She's looking for a deal. There she is. It's like, come on, guys. Isn't something for President's Day, maybe? You got a sale? I got anything?
Martin Luther King Day sale around
Can
here?
we get a Martin Luther King Day
assassination
mother of
deal?
2 murder sale? Is that possible?
Didn't he have 2 kids?
I feel like he had 2 kids. And no, he'd be fine with this. Yeah, he was all about hiring hitmen to kill mothers of children. Yeah, no, it's good.
I don't know. I spent $800 at a strip club with my tax return. So this is probably
when was that? Not recent.
No,
well, I was going to say
2003.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I couldn't
probably
see you doing that.
time.
Yeah, around this time. This is 2009. But you were even past spending $500 on something.
It was probably
so
better than whatever George Bush was going to do with my money.
I'm sure at the time. Yeah, who the hell knows? So, oh my God. So at this point, while this is going on, word's out on the street, and she's offered James Acome to kill Heather Strong, and he rejected it. Heather Strong moves on. She breaks up with Benjamin McCollum. I guess too much pressure from, her breaking up with him to marry Josh. I guess he moved on from that. So she needs to find somebody. So Heather Strong begins a new relationship with who? James Acome.
What the shit?
Do these people know anybody else? They're the only people who aren't 90 in the whole fucking area, and they're all just going to fuck each other because we're not 90. Holy shit. You're not 90 too? Great. Impregnate me, please.
How does James not go back to her and be like, yo, listen, we got to get the fuck out of this town. She just offered me $250.
She ain't right in the head.
She offered me half.
250
50% of $500
to fucking kill you.
To open you up.
So be nice to me because there's always $250 on the table.
Baby, that was his pickup line. I said no.
I said no. So she went, my hero, and hugged him. So he gets she drops the charges or has them dropped or whatever. So Josh Fulgham gets out of jail, moves in with his mother immediately, while Heather moves in with James Acome.
Of course.
So she moves in there, and at this point, Josh and Heather have a battle over custody of the kids. Now Josh wants
slam dunk.
I would figure after you pull a shotgun on the mother, it's probably you're not going to get custody. I would hope so anyway. So on February 15th, Josh, as a plan to talk to Heather, he tells his mother to get custody of the kids. This is fucking wonderful. On February 15th, 2009, he asked his mother to, quote, help him compose a letter. He was just writing the same one over. It keeps coming out fucked up. I can't write B's. I'm just not it's the turny part really hurts me. I can't get the straight. I'm good with the straight line. Yeah. The other 2 parts.
I keep trying to write Heather, but every time I draw this H, I pick it up and it's an I. This is crazy.
I can't figure out what I should put next. It's like I barely know what's going to come after H.
He's too easy, isn't he?
He's too easy. It's too easy. And he's a total asshole, so it's perfectly fine to make fun of him. That's what's great. He's such an asshole. It's like, no, we're not making fun of stupid people. We're making fun of this particular stupid asshole.
This guy's an idiot.
He is an idiot. So, wow. No, he's doing this because Josh was told by Amelia, Meth Falcon, that Jesus Christ. He's told by Amelia that Heather has said that she is taking Josh's 2 kids and moving back to Mississippi, which is a lie because when you leave Mississippi, you don't go back. No one goes, I'm going back. Nope, I'm free. I've
had enough of all this sunshine and fun.
Not voluntarily anyway. So he needs to get this letter to her. So the mother composes the letter for him, or helps him compose the letter, we should say. Now, February 15th, that same day, Heather receives an emergency phone call at work. Where does she work? She's had it rough. current husband, father of her 2 kids, pulling a shotgun on her, where she just got out of a relationship that she was happy in to reignite, and now she's with this other guy. She's having a tough life. She works at the Iron Skillet restaurant inside of a truck stop.
Oh my God, I thought it couldn't get worse.
Yeah, if you don't know what an Iron Skillet is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a truck stop restaurant. It's like a no frills Denny's. Put it that way.
It's a step down from the Waffle House.
It really
somehow.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's inside of a truck stop.
Right.
That's where she works.
Grease on everything.
In Florida.
Yeah.
So her life is not great.
Not just food grease.
No.
This is a truck stop.
Just
There
truck
is like
grease, food
axle grease.
She's living on the seam right here. Right on the seam. This is like she's dancing on this thing on a daily fucking basis. She receives an emergency phone call about her children.
Yeah.
So she has to leave work because something's wrong with her kids. So she takes off. Who does she receive that emergency phone call from? Amelia Carr, because that's who's watching her kids. So, by the way, even though she is trying to hire people currently to kill her.
And holding knives.
To her throat. Insane, right? So, Josh's mother last saw on this day Heather and Josh in the car together, with Josh driving, which seems like a bad idea, pulling away with those 2 in the car from Josh's mother's house. Okay. That's the last she sees her that day. Later that evening, on February 15th, James Akome returns from work to their apartment and finds that Heather and the kids are gone and all their shit's gone. She's moved out, apparently, and he's like, what the hell happened? And then he finds out what happens when Josh Fulgham calls him on the telephone and says, hi, you notice all their shit's gone. That's because me and Heather are back together. So fuck off. Don't bother calling her. She doesn't want to talk to you. We're back together. We're a family again now, so eat dicks, dude. Go away.
But before he hung up, he said, me and Heather are back together. Hey, that shit rhymes. Oh, yeah. By the way, she's moving.
Did I mean to? Why'd I call you?
Who's this?
What number did I dial? You called me, asshole. Problem is...
Oh, yeah, Heather and together rhyme.
That's right, together. Whole problem is Heather doesn't show up for work at the Iron Skillet the next day. Heather doesn't show up to pick up kids. Heather doesn't show up to do shit.
For how long?
Heather is gone for 9 days. For 9 days. And she's not... Pop doesn't come back in 9 days and be like, oh, phew, that was a tough 9 days I just had. She's just missing for 9 days. It is 9 days before anybody calls the police to report her missing, which seems like an excessive amount of time to wait for a normally responsible mother of 2 that's gone missing. It's because Josh tells everybody that they got back together and she just doesn't want to talk to anybody. And so they just act like, oh, I guess that she's
with Josh again.
And then after 9 days, finally her cousin Misty says, fuck this shit on February 24th. Name. Misty, that's a
Florida name.
She has blue eyeshadow. I guarantee it. It's blue.
They all have blonde hair.
Blonde hair, blue eyeshadow, and bangs that stick up in the front.
And they dye it blonde.
The down and then the up. That
if it was brown at one point, it ain't today.
Well, part of it is. The underside of it is. The roots, they're about 3 inches from the scalp bar, and then everything else is blonde. So she contacts the Marion County Sheriff's Department on February 24th and reports Heather Strong missing. So now there's an investigation. Clearly, there's a missing woman here. We're going to investigate. Obviously they want to talk to Josh and to Amelia because Josh and Amelia are in a relationship, and Josh, was the last to be seen with her. Right. So they want to have a chat with these 2.
Where are the kids?
Yeah. Well, the kids, don't worry about the kids. The kids are fine.
Okay.
Kids are fine. Heather's missing on her own. No. Heather's missing on her own. Okay. Kids are good. Okay. Kids are they're
Amelia's
around.
Got them.
Amelia's got them. The parents have them. Their kids are fine. Okay. Amelia or Josh doesn't have them now because the police are bringing them in for constant questioning because they're a little bit worried. First, they say, don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I talked to Heather. She signed this document for me saying that I have custody of the kids, and then that was it. That's the last I saw from her. Right. I don't know. We don't talk that much because, she had me put in jail for threatening her with a shotgun and that sort of shit. And, Amelia, same shit. I don't know anything about it. Problem is, over the course of the next few days, when you talk to people over and over again, they'll start, when they're trying to get out of guilt shit, they'll start giving like, well, I don't know, Josh might have seen her. It's possible.
Wink,
and,
wink.
I think maybe Amelia might have talked to her this time, like trying to sort of incriminate the other one as far as I think maybe you want to talk to him about that or you want to talk to her about that. And Amelia thinks she's getting away with the whole thing. Problem that she doesn't understand and doesn't know is that Josh's sister has agreed to cooperate with the police. And shocking enough, obviously, Amelia is close with Josh's sister and tells her everything and has no idea that all of their conversations are recorded. This is Amelia is not in jail. She's out on the street. She's calling Josh's sister, talking to her. Josh's sister is recording every conversation, which is, that's damning a little bit because they put together, based on these phone calls, that Josh and Amelia plotted to kill Heather, obviously, because they were mad about her. Amelia was gassing Josh up about her moving the kids. And she was like, now, if she moves the kids, that means you won't be able to see them anymore. That's what happens next. They're there, then you can't see them. She had to explain A to B, and then he was like, oh shit, really? That's true. Shit. All right, well, shit, let's get her. So that's the plan here. They say that what they think is that Josh lured her to a location and that they killed her there. That's what they're thinking. Now, they find out from these phone calls, and we'll talk about the exact details in a minute here, but they find out that from these phone calls that Heather Strong was lured to a mobile home on the property of Amelia Carr's family. There's a regular house which looks like it has fucking been abandoned for 80 years. It's a fucking alligator shack. And then there's a mobile home they use for storage in the back of the property.
Oh my God,
which must be way fucking worse. It's not
boy.
even inhabited, this fucking thing. Apparently they lured her in there. Josh told Heather that he had some money in there and that he was going to give it to her. For some reason, he was going to give her this money, but he had it hidden in this trailer, and then Amelia had it in there, and he was going to steal it or whatever the fuck was. He was trying to act like he had her in on a plot or whatever. Problem is, once Josh and Heather walked into the trailer to find this money, when they walked in the door, Amelia was there. And so Heather was like, oh shit, last time I saw this chick, she held a knife to my throat. And also, this is weird because no one said she was going to be here, and now she's here in an isolated trailer. She gets scared. Fight or flight kind of gets up, and she tries to take off. By the way, Amelia, 7 months pregnant, fucking, and super pregnant too. She's showing. I mean, there's no doubt she's pregnant. You can see that shit from a satellite. So Heather Strong tries to leave the trailer right away, and apparently Josh wrestled her back inside. During all of this too, while he's wrestling with her, she breaks a window with her arm, just trying to fight and flail. He's trying to wrestle her into a chair. She's so scared, Heather is, that she pees her pants during this whole thing. They scare her that badly. That's how frightened she is of these crazy fucking people, because she's not like them. She's just not. She's not like them. She wouldn't think, I'll pay somebody $500. She'll just think, I'll go to work at the Iron Skillet and I'll come home and I'll try to take care of my kids and have a relationship with whoever I'm around. Whatever the fuck it is. She's trying to have a life, and these two are lunatics.
I mean, in this story, we haven't even heard of her once having a weapon, which she by this time
never does.
Fucking should.
She probably should. Yeah. If that fucking, what's his name, shot that kid down there, if George Zimmerman has one, she should have one too. So anyway, they wrestle. Josh ties Heather to a chair in the trailer, and she manages to escape because he's not real good at tying knots. He's doing like bunny ear loop swoop and pull and shit, and he's like loop swoop shit. She just pulled the one thing and it came right out.
Rabbit runs round the tree, goes through the whole way. Hey, get back
Come
here,
on
bitch.
back here. Damn it, this is fucked up. So
He's singing songs.
Trying to do it, and this poor woman is fighting for her life. So he then grabs her, holds her back down in the chair, and Amelia uses duct tape to tape her body and hands and legs to the chair.
God damn it.
So duct tapes her to the goddamn chair while Josh held her down. Obviously, Heather is crying and begging to be released and asking, why are you doing this? You know, standard fucking questions when two people who you just want to get away from are trying to murder you. You have nothing to do with, and all they want to do is fucking murder you. They said, and Josh says, you're going to take the goddamn kids away from me. You're not going to do that shit. And Heather's going, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's going, yeah, you do. You're going to give me custody. He whips out that document and makes her sign it while she's duct taped to a fucking chair.
Sign this letter. This is the letter A.
This is just an A. Shit, I left the other one at home. Damn it. Wow. This is
horrible.
This is fucked up. It's at this point that Amelia says, and this is all from the recordings, and so, you know, this is just Amelia's side to somebody else. This isn't whatever, the gospel. It's true in what happens to Heather, but who did it is the who did what and when is the part that's a little murky.
The responsibility is
that
questionable.
we'll talk about. Amelia tells the sister that Josh broke the flashlight that Amelia was carrying when he used it to hit Strong in the head with it.
Oh, fuck, man.
And by the way, that's the only source of light there, too, so now it's dark.
What a dipshit.
It's like he barely knows what's going to happen next. It's a fucking idiot. So
when I break this over her head,
this shit is dark,
be dead,
man.
And we can go, where did everybody
Oh, shit.
Who turned the lights off?
I guess it's time to sleep. He just lays down and goes to bed.
Nap time.
Like a parrot. It's a trick that Amelia learned when she was dealing with exotic birds. So this is fucking dark, man. So they hit her with a flashlight, and I'm literally and metaphorically here. And she says, Amelia says that Josh then placed a plastic garbage bag over Heather's head, and Carr pulled off enough duct tape. Amelia pulls off enough duct tape to wind it around her neck. So she's got a plastic bag duct taped around her neck.
What a bitch.
Apparently, though, she wasn't dying fast enough because, you know, it takes a minute for someone to suffocate like that, you know, there's some oxygen in there and all that sort of thing. So they speed up the process, and she gets frustrated, Amelia does, so she tries to break Carr's neck, she said. She says she didn't really try to break her neck, but she tried to break her neck, and it was a lot harder than she thought it was going to be. She's like, I've seen Seagal movies where they're just whap with two hands and pow, and they fall right to the ground, just limp and dead. And I tried that shit, and it just didn't work.
I saw Jackie Chan sneak up on all kinds of local man. Yeah, it's over.
Done. Apparently, she just got her in a chin lock and was cranking her head and not breaking her neck because a 7-month pregnant people, I'm sure, don't have the strength to break a young, healthy woman's neck.
Dear Christ.
So this is a fucking nightmare. This doesn't work. So then somebody, Carr says on the phone that it's Josh, but then we'll find out later. We're not sure about it. Somebody holds fucking Heather's nose closed with one hand and covers her mouth with the other hand.
Fuck.
While she's in a plastic bag, duct taped, all that to speed up the process.
She can't even move.
She can't even move. She's been hit in the head and tried to break her neck. She has no idea what's even fucking going on. She has not invited this. This is fucking insane.
Yeah.
This is what crazy people do. This is crazy shit. They apparently killed her, obviously.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, she says, Josh returned to the trailer and took out Heather's body and buried her in a shallow grave right behind the trailer.
Wow, they left her in that chair for 2 days.
In there for 2 days. And then they went back and got her. Yep, and fucking buried her in a shallow grave right behind the trailer.
Jesus Christ.
Insane here. So they have tape recordings of Amelia talking to Josh Fulgham's sister. I got to use pronouns here or else we're going to get lost. So this is her whole detailed account of the whole thing. She also tells Josh's sister that she was going to tell the cops that Jamie Akome and his friend, who she offered $500 to, but they refused, that they were responsible for the murder.
Yeah.
That's what she was going to tell the cops, is what she said. But to the cops, she already implicated Josh.
Yeah.
But she's trying to snow the sister into thinking that she's on Josh's side.
Right.
This is fucking crazy.
Well, it's Josh's sister.
It's Josh's sister.
She's against her family.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is fucking nuts here.
That's some shit people that have 125 IQ do.
That's as opposed to ones that are 81 IQ that don't manipulate much. They just go, I don't know. Okay, fine. So she originally told the police, Amelia did, that she hadn't seen Heather since January, and then she said that she had information about Josh. And she said that she started out with, I haven't seen him. Then she said, hey, Josh might have seen her. And then she said, okay, Josh told me that he killed her. Yeah. Like that was her progression. And then it went from that to, well, we have tape recordings. And then it was, well, I was there, but I didn't do anything, and I was exaggerated my thing and blah, 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 exaggerated my role. So then she admitted, because after that, she then changed it to, I know Josh killed her because then he took me to see the body. Yeah. And that's when he buried it. Then it went from that to, okay, I was there when he killed her, but, whatever. And then finally she just says, fine, I fucking helped him, but he forced me and all that kind of shit. So she really went down every step of bullshit. She lied every day, basically, until all the information was out and she couldn't lie anymore.
She's horrible.
Yeah. She says, finally, she said, okay, Josh called, Amelia tells police that Josh called her at the time and said whether she was still down with what they talked about. Or they had been talking about a plan to kill Heather. And she says that she thought Josh was joking around and wouldn't actually go through with it. So she said, yeah, sure, whatever. And then she says, next thing I know, Josh shows up at the house with Heather. And that's when I knew it was for real. I guess so. She said that they ridiculous.
I thought he meant he was going to come over and I was going to look at that wall and tell him that was a normal scene.
That's fine, Josh. Your mom told you. Your doctor told you.
That weld is supposed to be there.
You're supposed to be over this when you're 8, Josh. What's going on? So this is fucking crazy here. She tells the story totally saying that it was all Josh. Yeah. And Carr even beefs up the details by telling her things that Heather was saying and that she was begging for her life and all that sort of shit. So she was really trying to put it on Josh as he's so cold-blooded, because she said that Heather was crying and saying, Josh, why? And asking Amelia for help, but Amelia couldn't help her because Josh was in a rage. He's a nut. And he was yelling that at Heather, saying, because you're trying to take my kids and they're my kids and you're not taking my kids. So, this is fucking insane. So, obviously, by the way, they arrest Josh and Amelia both. They're like, let's just figure this out later and arrest you both once they get all the information. Josh finally talks here. He finally says that for some reason, he's so stupid, I kind of believe him a little bit, unless it's like if it's anything within the first 6 hours of an interview. After that, they could get him to, he would admit he's a Care Bear by 6 hours in. Like, you could totally snow this guy. You could Brendan Dassey this guy into fucking anything you want. That's a verb. Yeah. So he said that Strong wanted to keep the kids based on what Amelia told him, and that they concocted this whole thing before their meeting. By the way, this is amazing. This is a new piece of information Josh gives that is fantastic and hilarious. Before the meeting, he said that Josh told his mother that he's going to go meet Heather and he's going to try to get her to give him custody of the kids. He's going to offer her money. You know how much money, Jimmy?
No.
$500.
Oh.
The $500 that was up to kill her. Yeah. She can also take it for possession of her children. She can sell her kids for $250 a piece.
$500 doesn't buy a murder, but does it buy children?
Does it buy 2?
We could try
healthy children.
Again, they're trying to get a deal. They're trying to get Walmart murders and Walmart
fucking
kids.
Bargain murders and shit. You can't do that shit. Wow. He says, quote, I was taking Heather over to Amelia's to scare her into signing that paper. Yeah. He tells them that he took Strong back there under the premise that there was $1,700 in the trailer that they were going to collect. And he eventually says that, yes, I killed her and I killed her and I buried the bodies. And he said that Carr was also responsible and all that kind of shit. He said, Josh says that he asked Heather to sit down and talk to him, but she tried to get up and leave. And that's when Carr came in and hit Strong with the flashlight. He claims that she did that, and that's when he held her down and she tried to get up and all this type of shit here. Yeah, the whole thing. He says that Carr duct taped the plastic bag over her head while he sat on her lap.
Asshole.
He said that he sat on her lap, Heather's lap, to keep her in the chair while Amelia suffocated her with her hands, which sounds kind of plausible.
Yeah.
I'm not sure here, obviously, what it is, but he says the next morning he dragged her body into a suitcase and buried Heather in a shallow grave just feet away from the abandoned mobile home. He said, quote, "I thought that it was wrong. I thought Heather didn't deserve that."
Yeah.
No shit, dummy. Wow. He also admitted now, he says that since then he's tried to commit suicide, was what he said. That's the suicide attempt is what caused him to do this, because he heard that his kids were going to get taken to Mississippi, so he tried to kill himself. Wow.
I understand.
So
you take my kids to Mississippi, I'll shoot myself
Jesus,
right in the face.
It's not going to work out well for him. At one point during this interview that's recorded, obviously, a police interview that's videotaped, Josh calls his mother from the holding cells and tells her that he just admitted to his role in the murder. And he's crying and telling her that he won't be coming home. And he says, and I quote from the video, quote, "I done it, Mama. I didn't do it by myself, but I done it. I just wanted them children, Mama. That's the reason I did it." He improved.
That was impressive.
Right? That he showed growth.
Yeah.
He showed growth.
All the way through that statement.
I saw your eyes. You were like,
learning.
he said did. You look so impressed with that. Yeah, he's good for you.
You let a man talk a while, he'll start saying some good shit.
He said, "Who says I can't learn?" Jesus Christ. He ends up saying that he will show them the body if in exchange for something, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, and let's see here. You're gonna take them to a location of a body, so that's exchange for maybe take the death penalty off the table, or some sort of you're gonna house me close to my family, a prison thing,
$500,
or a charge, $500. Even $500 would be better than what he asked for. This is what this fucking dummy asked for in exchange for showing a body. Not a good bargainer here.
No.
He asked for a chance to see his mom and a pack of cigarettes.
A pack.
One pack of cigarettes.
20 Class A cigarettes.
20 Class A cigarettes. That's it. Not a carton of cigarettes. Not cigarettes for the next year I'm in jail.
Right.
Not a pack of cigarettes, and to see his mom for that. I see that's a big bargaining chip that he really should have held on to a little longer, I think, maybe. Could have got more out of that.
It seems like James,
Jesus Christ.
He definitely doesn't know those are going to run out one day.
It's like he barely knows what's going to happen next. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh my God! For the love of Christ, they get there, and this is a frightening scene. It's a back woodsy, swampy Florida old abandoned trail. It's a horrible fucking place to die. It's so scary and shitty, and I feel so bad for Heather. They find her covered in a 3-foot deep hole, covered by 2 pieces of wood and some plastic bags so that they use to ward off the flies. That's disgusting. She's partially stuffed into a large zip-up suitcase that she didn't fit into, and
it's fascinating that they gave a shit about flies.
Yeah, well, because that draws attention.
That's
a big pile of flies by the ground.
There you go.
That's all it was.
I was trying to figure out.
No, it wasn't.
Why do they care? It
wasn't
about
to protect her. To protect her remains.
Right.
This was to keep off attention.
Assholes.
She's wearing a t-shirt and jeans and 1 shoe. Yeah, and we'll find out what happened to that shoe here. They said it was a very slipshod burial because Josh did it, so it's not going to be all that great. The autopsy concludes she did die from suffocation, so that part is right. The prosecutor at this point steps in to talk about this, and this prosecutor has the most amazing name in the history of law enforcement.
Yeah.
This is their county prosecutor. First of all, he doesn't even need to have a law degree. He's going to get elected with this name. Yeah. His name, Jimmy, Rock Hooker.
You betcha.
Rock Hooker, county prosecutor. That's a that's a television show. You come back every week to watch Rock Hooker put rapists in jail. How you doing? I'm Rock Hooker.
In the 80s, you'd have been home at 8 p.m. if Rock Hooker was on.
You're watching Rock Hooker, man. Oh, Rock Hooker's got a bad one tonight. It's going to be great. He's going to put those punks away.
Rock Hooker's the original Dick Wolf.
Yeah, all the old people. Go, you get them, Rock Hooker, those damn kids. You put them in jail.
That goes together like Perry Mason.
It's a show.
That is beautiful.
It's a show about teenagers who kill old people, and Rock Hooker gives them the what for. It comes on right after Murder, She Wrote. And that's the marketing for it. Rock Hooker gives them the what for tonight after Murder, She Wrote.
I don't even know what the what for is.
In the heat of the night, anything. In the heat of whatever that Carol O'Connor show, Archie Bunker show where he's Southern used to be, and I was on
the
too.
What for is
give him
fantastic.
The what for. He says after Jesus Christ.
It's the greatest two words together. It's so good. Like it by far and away is so much superior to whatnot.
It is. Give him the what for.
Is so good.
Rock Hooker, Florida gynecologist. He could be anything. Let me get in there and take a peek, sweetheart.
Rock Hooker could be a Florida orange juice maker, and I'm drinking it.
Rock Hooker juice, come get it. So, I love Rock Hooker.
Rock Hooker's
This is a
juice.
real man.
Have a sip of Rock Hooker's juice.
Rock Hooker's juice. The nectar of Rock Hooker. It's Hooker nectar. Come get some.
I'm
Rock
in.
Hooker.
I will guzzle that.
Wow.
I will sprinkle emergency in
that.
And
you know
I'll
it.
take shots.
A little bit of sweet and low. So he says, Rock Hooker says, quote, that's one of the cruelest deaths you can experience. Oxygen deprivation is a horrible death, which, yes, it is, Rock Hooker. And I'll believe anything Rock Hooker says, but that's actually true. Now, so like we said, her story, the stories are still going back and forth. Josh's stays pretty steady because he's not one to make shit up because he's really bad at it. But Amelia's shit changes like daily.
He doesn't have the mental capacity
He just
to make shit up.
he won't remember what he said yesterday, and he doesn't have a plan for tomorrow, obviously, because Jimmie barely knows what's going to happen next. So he doesn't have a plan for that shit. Holy hell. So they found a lot of forensic evidence in the grave too. They found from the trailer pieces of duct tape with hairs and duct tape from the office chair, and they documented the broken window, but the duct tape matched the duct tape that was on Heather in the hole. So that matches her to the trailer, so that they're just putting the story together and corroborating everything.
I've seen that on Forensic Files where they match the tear.
Yeah, they'll match the tear.
Awesome.
And also there's hairs connecting and blood from both, because they also said they find blood stain on a piece of tape.
That's the thing about tape, James. It's fucking sticky.
It's real sticky. Hard to get off.
It picks shit up.
It picks everything
and
up.
It locks it right in as
Forever.
evidence.
Shit. How they used to get fingerprints off shit with tape. Just pull it right off. It's, hey, look at that, a fingerprint.
There you go.
So they found a blood stain on one piece of tape that matched Heather, and then they were also able to match that to a piece of tape on her outside too, to match up that. So they just match everything up, and tape on the chair she was taped to. The medical examiner says also that they found a thumbprint that matched Heather Strong. They didn't find the shoe, like we said, and that's something that we'll talk about. They also found a bruise, a blunt force trauma to the mid forehead area of Heather that was caused by a blunt force that was not life threatening. So that was the flashlight in the head. That was just a good enough shot to hurt her, but not to kill her. Now, before the trial, Heather makes Amelia makes Amelia's trial is going to be before Josh's. Now, Amelia in a mission before trial, she provides investigators with information that proved her involvement, so she can prove her story, because she's trying to say their thing is you did everything, and her thing is I didn't do everything. I did some of this shit, so I got to prove the stuff I did do so I can corroborate what I'm saying here.
Right.
So she gives an accurate description of the blanket and suitcase that Heather was buried in, as well as a description of the clothing that Heather was wearing when she was murdered. She also leads police to the shoe that wasn't found with Heather in the grave. She says that it fell off during the struggle in the chair when she was duct taping her leg, and she threw it aside, and they just didn't find it for some reason because it was a mess in there.
But she knows where it is.
She found it, and she knows where it is and gave it to them. So she's saying that. Now, April of 2009, she waives her right to a speedy trial.
Amelia does,
yeah. Which is, she wants processes to go on. So she's like, you don't have to try me right now. We need to make motions and all. That's so they can do motions and shit. Immediately afterwards, because now there's time, lead prosecutor Rock Hooker, he steps in again.
With his nectar.
He says, I'm going to sprinkle my nectar all over you. And files his notice of his intent to pursue the death penalty against Amelia.
Shit.
So he's going to sprinkle his poisonous nectar on her, is about it. That's strong for it's Heather Strong. Yeah. That's strong for a young lady with 3 kids and who's pregnant at the time too. Is going to have 4 kids by the time this goes to trial. Right. The family reaction, Carr's mother, Amelia, said that she just couldn't believe it. She was really hurt. She says Amelia only did this. She must have been really hurt. Quote, he proposed to her. He bought the ring for her. And in December, he came and took the ring and married Heather. Yeah. So he's saying that's the only thing that would have made her go crazy. And, hormones, she's pregnant and she went out of control. And it's not her fault. And she was manipulated, which is, full of shit. No, she's not manipulated by Josh. No one's manipulated by Josh, I don't think. I mean, she might have been, she could be physically forced to do something by Josh, but mentally, he's not going to fucking trick her into anything.
There's no mental chess game going on.
No, not at all. Not to absolve Josh of shit, because he was a fucking asshole here.
I don't think he could play mental checkers.
No, he'd be like, king me. We haven't started yet, Josh. You can't have one until never mind. So Misty Strong said about her cousin Heather, quote, she was just so kind-hearted. She would just keep forgiving him. She was stuck in that same trap of, this is my kid's father. And then she said, I guess she felt no one else would want her. She thought it was just easier to deal with him and keep quiet about it, which is fucking horrible. But then every time she's not with him, she's with somebody else. Somebody always wants her.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's it. But either way, you don't need anybody. Number one, you got the iron skillet. Go back to fucking Mississippi with your family if you have to get on your feet. Do whatever you have to do. You don't need this asshole ever. And especially if other guys you're moving into other people's houses.
Exactly. And the iron skillet is likely a chain. You could fucking transfer. Get the
man.
fuck out of Florida.
Yep, I've seen them all over the place. Wow. In June of 2009, Josh has the balls to write a letter to Heather Strong's mother, expressing his remorse over her death. And this is his letter, word for word.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to change his grammar or do anything. I'm just going to read it. Quote, I do want you to know that I didn't want nothing bad to happen to Heather. You know how much me and her has been through in 11 years. Nothing this bad never happened.
Wow.
Nothing never happened.
Yeah. We has been through.
I loved Heather and still do, and I have to live with this every day, which has got to be infuriating to get if you're the mother of a dead person who can't live with shit any day.
That is crazy that a 20-something-year-old man's letter sounds like my 8-year-old's text messages. That's incredible.
That's a grown man's letter to seek remorse for a dead child.
Right.
That's wow. November of 2010, Carr wants her trial delayed. Amelia does, because she doesn't like her attorney. The case is proceeding here, and she doesn't think her defense lawyer, who is a death penalty certified lawyer, who works for the public defender's office, she said that she doesn't think she's ready for the trial. She says to the judge, Amelia does, quote, this is my life. She says, I want to know that my attorney representing me is adequately prepared and ready to fight this. I might not be the attorney, but I'd like to know what I'm getting into with my eyes open, not half shut. The judge says, quote, she might not be working toward your expectations, but that's different from being ineffective. Eat dicks, you're going to trial. So fuck off. And does not give her a continuance either. Gives her not even extra time for her attorney to prepare. Just says she's good. Moving on. She'll do. They said that it's a trial built on circumstantial evidence, but also a lot of her own confessions. But the details are murky, and that's what they're worried about, is these murky details. Although once they get the trial going, there's several witnesses line up down the street to say that they were asked by Carr to either kill or help find someone to kill Heather Strong. She offered me $500. She offered me $250. She told me to put word on the street. I heard she was looking for someone to get me. It's like everybody she knows.
I drank at the bar and I heard the word on the street.
They came in and shouted it. So I don't know. I heard it loud. Also, Comey testifies that he had to pull Carr off of Heather while Amelia had a knife to Heather's throat, which which looks bad to say I'm just innocent following Josh when she had a goddamn knife to her throat when Josh wasn't anywhere near there.
He was in jail at that point.
Yeah, he wasn't anywhere near there. God, wrapped her hand. He describes in court how Amelia wrapped Heather's ponytail around her hand, wrapped it around her hand so she couldn't go and she didn't even grab it. She wrapped it and fucking pulled her head back, which is absolutely fucking bonkers. Also testifies that he kept being offered money to do this, to kill Heather. Amelia testifies. What the fuck? Why not? What do you got to lose? She takes a stand and testifies that she only started lying to police after that she said the police threatened that she would never see her baby born.
What?
She doesn't say what method they were going to. I don't know if they were going to do a super late term abortion, like fucking it's ready to come out and just club it over the head and throw it away. I don't know.
They're going to kill them both?
They're going to, yeah.
I mean,
we're going to do the death penalty tomorrow for both of you.
Right now.
Right now. Everyone's dying.
Otherwise, just you're going to see your baby born. Yeah. Look down, stupid. You've had 3 before. You know how this works.
You know what's going to happen next. The kid's going to come out. I don't know if she's trying to say they were threatening her to kill her. They were going to take her out while she was in her cell, or I don't know what the hell it was.
While she's asleep, just bring a Hoover in there and suck it out.
So, there you go, sweetheart. So,
you didn't see it, did you?
Never told you wouldn't see it. So, God damn it. She says she admitted to saying that she wanted to kill Strong in the past, but she also said that the same thing about her ex-husband and wasn't serious about that either. Okay. Which is just something you say, like, oh, I wish I could kill him, or I wish I'd hire I'd give you $500 to kill him. I've never said that to anyone. I've never said that. Ever. No. I've never facetiously offered someone a specific amount of money that I'm getting for a tax return to kill somebody that I don't like and it's competition for me.
I think I said I'm going to kill you in right before a fight.
Yeah.
I did not kill them.
No, you probably didn't. I bet you didn't.
I didn't even try.
And you didn't offer someone next to you a specific dollar amount. Yeah, that's the other thing. Jesus. She denied offering James Akome money to help kill Heather Strong, even though there was 2 people there and they both testified to the same thing. Yeah. She says they're both lying. She also denied that she complained to her other friend that she couldn't find anyone to kill Heather Strong, and could you put word out on the street? Wow. She says that she last saw Heather in January of 2009 before the murder, and that Josh had never spoken to Amelia about killing Heather. That never happened. Now she's denying all of that. She said Josh did not call her about coming over to the house with Heather, and that she never went outside the night of the murder other than to say goodbye to other people who were there visiting her family that had nothing to do with Josh, and she was never in the trailer with Josh and Heather. She never found Heather's body in the trailer. She said the shoes that she led police to were not Heather's. She only did that to lie to them to further her cause. She also says she lied about trying to break Heather Strong's neck and about helping Josh duct tape Heather to a chair. Oh, and she also lied about putting the garbage bag over Heather's head. Lied about all of it. She said she only used the information she learned from police or from Josh's sister with inside knowledge of the case to make it look like she knew something, and that she tried to convince Josh's sister that she knew something about the murder so Josh's sister would provide information that Josh could use to get,
police could use to get Josh and
to use to get Josh, and that would get Amelia her kids back, because they took her kids away because she's arrested. Yeah. So she says she told them all this as an elaborate ruse to get her kids back.
That is a real deep story to get your kids.
Whoa. And she went on trial and said, no, those other 45 times I lied to you, they were lies. And then this other time was a lie. And then my last story, also a lie. But this is the one time I'm telling the truth now. That's a tough thing to, that's kind of rough. She says that she stated they were arguing because, Jesus Christ. She said she talked to Josh on the phone the day of Heather's murder, but she said they were arguing because Josh wanted Amelia to put their upcoming baby up for adoption. Oh, and Amelia says that she didn't know who killed Heather, and that she didn't know that Heather was buried on her property until police told her. That's her claim.
That's a shitty story.
That's a bad story. Just deny it all. But the problem is they present video evidence of her telling all these stories to the police, looking exactly like she just did.
That's a problem.
Now I'm telling the truth, the same shit. They present the tape recordings of her saying exactly what happened to the sister, which sound pretty fucking knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like she's making shit up as she goes along. They also, Carr presents the testimony of a doctor, an expert in forensic psychology. This doctor, it's a Dr. Land. This doctor testifies that Amelia has no indication of any serious mental illness. So she was looking for a doctor to say how crazy she was. Yeah. And no, they say she has no indication of any serious mental illness. She has a bland demeanor in expressing affect, which makes her seem unemotional. And that's why she seemed like such a good liar, because she has a flat affect, and that's just not her fault. She's not a cold-blooded liar.
Right.
She just has a flat affect.
Or maybe she has both.
Or she has a flat affect, because that's a good way to lie.
Right.
Either one. They said that it makes her seem unemotional. They said that she has some of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety also. Also testified that Amelia has an IQ of 125 and is more of a leader than a follower, which is not a good thing for her in this particular case. Also testified she has no psychosis, no antisocial personality disorder, schizophrenia, loss of reality, or delusions, and that she knows, quote, she knows what is going on around her and knows right from wrong. This woman knows what's going to happen next. She absolutely does. Oh, my God. Now, they talk about her relationships with men. This doctor testifies that Amelia engages in superficial sexual relationships and does not become emotionally attached, which makes sense from a girl whose father tried to kill her. And probably did horrible things to her before that. So that makes a lot of sense. They said that she engages in sexual relationships where she's in control and she's the one enticing and manipulating the relationship. She likes to manipulate men and is on guard against being manipulated because, like we talked about, she's manipulating. Right. So she's on guard for everyone to be everyone must think like me.
Right.
Everyone's got a plot and a thing like that. She also testified that the doctor testified that Carr is acting out her abuse through her relationships, but is not submissive, and that she could not account for Carr's sexual abuse causing her to murder Heather Strong.
Yeah.
So she said whether the sexual abuse happened to her as a child or not, it doesn't connect psychologically to what happened to Heather. So this is fucking crazy. At this point, too, the state kind of, as their hammer, they introduce numerous recorded conversations that happened between Carr and Josh while Josh was in jail the month before the murder. These tapes that they must have forgot about, Heather and Josh, included conversations regarding Heather, to which Amelia said to Josh on tape, quote, "Leave it to me from here on out. I'm an ass kicker. You're too much of a pussy to do shit." So, leader
that's in a tape recorded thing.
Leader, not a follower. And people who are easily manipulated.
That is a terrible thing to have come out of your mouth on tape.
Is not good.
No.
Yeah.
You're too much of a pussy. Why was there a relationship after that?
That's what I mean. I'm an ass kicker. You're too much of a pussy to do shit. You jailed pussy, and hangs up on him. So the jury deliberates for 2.5 hours.
Oh, boy.
And they find her, Amelia, guilty of kidnapping and the big one, first-degree murder.
Oh, boy.
Which is the big one here.
When death is on the table.
It's bad stuff. So during the penalty phase of the trial, the defense attorney obviously tries to find some mitigating circumstances for her, talks about abuse Amelia experienced as a child. Members of her family testified that she was traumatized as a young child after being abused by both her father and grandfather, which is horrific. The jury, though, they vote on their recommendation, because the jury votes and then the judge can go off of that.
Right.
The jury votes in a 7-5 vote, by the way. That's a slim margin. They vote for death. The jury votes 7-5 for death. So now the judge has a choice here, and we'll talk about that shit.
Question. Aileen Wuornos, Florida, correct?
Florida, yes. Well, she's going to come up in a second, too.
Okay.
She's going to come up in a second here. She Jesus Christ. So by the way, after she's found guilty, then she has other stories for the press. She says that she never went into the trailer now, and she's talking about all of this shit.
Oh, God.
We'll talk about right after sentencing, which another accusation she makes here. So sentencing February 22nd, 2011. Court finds aggravating circumstances in the in the commission of a kidnapping, which holds great weight statutorily. Heinous, atrocious, or cruel crime, which holds a great weight statutorily, and 3 cold, calculated, and premeditated, which is another great weight factor.
Absolutely.
Those are heavyweight. They only find 1 statutory mitigating factor, because there's mitigating factors like I was abused when I was a child. That's a mitigating factor, but it's not a statutorily mitigating factor.
Okay.
There's other ones here, like the fact that she has no significant prior criminal history of violence, because the birds don't count. They don't count that. So they
didn't call the police when she put a fucking knife to her throat.
That's the other thing. That holds significant weight, that she has no violent history of violence. And they rejected these other ones, though, that she was under the influence of extreme mental or emotional disturbance. They said that wasn't proven, that she acted under extreme duress, and that she was only 24 years old at the time of which I don't know what the fuck. There's
what?
It says too in the court document, not mitigating because no evidence age impacted on her car's actions, which is absolutely true. They find non-statutory mitigators like her upbringing and her that she was a good family member, her family liked her, and all that kind of shit. That she attended church and Bible study as a child, which you killed a woman. I don't really give a shit about that. The judge is Judge Willard Pope, and he says, well, we'll sentence her on kidnapping first and then the murder here. It's for kidnapping, it is life in prison. Okay. So not good. No parole. Life in prison for kidnapping. And for the murder, you, ma'am, may fuck off. Death penalty.
Oh, boy.
Agrees with the jury. 7-5 jury recommendation for the death penalty, and she is moved to death row at the Lowell Correctional Institution in Marion County. Yeah. And then after that, after she's sentenced, she makes a statement to the makes a statement to the press on the way out that the child she was carrying at the time of the murder was not actually Josh Fulgham's.
Oh boy.
It's somebody else's, and that in addition to that herself, Amelia, and Heather had been having a lesbian relationship.
She decided to profess that to the media now.
After the death. By the way, not Josh's kid, and I was fucking Heather.
Oh,
so
my
now
God.
Throw that twist in there and see what the fuck you come up with. So, wow.
What the shit?
What is happening? Amelia becomes, by being sentenced to death, the first woman since Eileen Wuornos to be sentenced to death in Florida. The first woman.
Yeah, and that's fascinating. Now, Aileen used that same defense that she was horribly
she had a
abused.
horrible. I mean, this woman too, but not like Aileen.
Aileen was fucked, man. She was.
And if you don't know who Eileen Wuornos is, guys, she's the movie that Charlize Theron was in where you didn't want to fuck her. It's that's Eileen Wuornos, guys. So you know, women probably know who she is.
She was a terrible woman.
She had a rough life, man. I actually felt for her because she had as crazy and evil as she was, she had a fucked up life where it's almost like Charlie Manson's upbringing.
Right.
Like Charles Manson, you're like Jesus. I kind of see where this all happened. Like not as an excuse, but like as a reason. And it's the same thing with her.
With Manson, you look at him and you go, "How did that guy not kill people himself?"
Yeah, look at this shit. He looks like he would want to.
He the guy that did all that.
He tried to. He shot the one guy.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Aileen though, she was just abused her whole time. Anybody that was in her life pre 17 years old should have just been like, this girl's going to kill somebody one day.
A lot of people. So Josh goes to trial here, and this is a judge approves a new attorney to take over his case because the other attorney withdrew for medical reasons. So it's not like Amelia can't have a new attorney, but he can. He gets a guy named Terrence Lenneman, who we'll talk about in a second. Now Lenneman here, he's a death penalty guy, or a general,
advocate?
A lawyer that's certified for death penalty cases. He says that things have to be approached cautiously in this case, and obviously it's a sensitive deal, and someone's already been convicted on it. They end up This is fucking. They basically want full conversations to be played to get context of things, and they're trying to stretch this out a little bit. They're trying to squash a statement that Fulgham made to Heather's mother, that the one about the alligators in the trunk. They're trying to like squash little pieces of evidence that it's like pissing out a forest fire.
Those don't matter.
What are you doing? Like you're concentrating on one log and the whole fucking forest is on fire. Like, relax.
And you're trying to squash something that doesn't really pertain to this particular murder either.
Yeah.
I mean, all it does is signify that he had ill will and ill intentions towards her.
And yeah, no, it's true.
But it doesn't stop the fact that this girl's dead and he's probably prime suspect.
I would say so.
Number one.
Yeah. The defense team is trying to prove Josh guilty of second-degree murder, which is punishable by up to life in prison, and not first-degree murder. And the difference is premeditation. Opening statements, they're saying Josh's attorney's trying to set it up as a crime driven by passion and betrayal, and he freaked out, and it's second-degree murder. He says, the lawyer says, quote, things went really bad and happened very quickly. And then the lawyer says, quote, Amelia Carr does everything, he just lets it happen. So trying to paint it at him as just this dumb guy who's being dragged along and barely knows what's going to happen next. That's when this came out too in his trial, is when that came up. He barely knows what's going to happen next, which is reason why during the verdict he is found guilty of first-degree murder and kidnapping.
Oh, God.
He gets both. His defense lawyer asked the jury to consider a life sentence because he suffered from mental sexual abuse, and he barely knows what's going to happen next. So the jury returns an 8-4 vote.
Yeah. Cardi barely knows what's going to happen.
Barely knows what's going to happen next.
Cardi barely.
That's
what
their new
call her
name.
from now.
Cardi barely. Jesus Christ.
The B stands for barely.
Knows what's going to happen next. It's a long name. That's why they should shorten it to B.
That's her real name.
It's really long. So that's fucking awesome. I love it.
It reminds me of the Norm Macdonald joke that ID is the worst abbreviation ever. I short for I, D short for dentification.
Dentification, yeah. That is terrible.
Cardi barely knows.
Barely knows what's going to happen next. We'll shorten that up to B. That's not going to fit. It's not going to fit on the iTunes description. So the jury returns an 8-4 vote for a life sentence this time. So they vote for him to get life and not death here. Well, 4 people voted for death. So the judge here, Circuit Judge Brian Lambert, says, you, sir, may fuck off, gives him a life sentence with the possibility of parole.
Oh, look at this.
So this guy gets possibility of parole, which I'm sorry, I don't care. Even across the board.
Yeah.
Whatever she got, you get, asshole. I don't care.
Ding them both.
Ding you both. His lawyer, Josh's lawyer, said, quote, I was very happy with the jury's decision.
I didn't know that was going to happen next.
Josh had no idea. I knew. He didn't. It's a tough decision for them to make, but I think they carefully considered all the evidence and followed the law and came back with a just verdict. This guy, this Terrence Lenneman, if you kill a man or woman or anybody in Florida, this is your guy.
Yeah.
He, at this time, had done 11 death penalty cases, and this was the 9th one that had a life sentence recommendation.
Wow.
So he gets your ass off of the death penalty, this guy.
Almost 90%.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. Now, Amelia appeals her sentence, obviously. She, including possible errors by a trial judge, and the proportionality of the death sentence is her main thing. The attorney here says, quote, this case involves a love triangle between the victim, Heather Strong, her estranged husband, Joshua Fulgham, and the defendant, Amelia Carr, that ended when this horrible tragedy happened. So they're trying to act like she was just caught up in this big, whirlwind of shit here. She also claims ineffective assistance of counsel based on what she said earlier. But while this is all going on, her appeal kind of becomes a moot point because in 2017, a law is ruled unconstitutional. A certain death penalty provision is ruled unconstitutional, so Florida has to sign a new law with new death penalty rules into effect. And it's signed, these new rules require a unanimous jury decision for a death penalty,
for
a death sentence. So that means that everyone who has, say, a 7-5 vote for death penalty and ended up getting the death penalty from that recommendation has to be resentenced.
Yeah.
You have to resentence them. You have to go through the process, do the whole, court thing for resentencing. Yeah. So after an evidentiary hearing in 2017, the state of Florida declines to seek a new death penalty phase with Amelia Carr. And she is resentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
That's great.
They don't just go, you can go on your way there, young lady. No, you're good now.
I don't know how laws work.
Yeah, no.
I started to get real scared there.
Yeah. So after that, there was only 3 women left on death row in Florida. After her, so she is not on death row, but she's in life for, without parole, so she's done. Josh Fulgham is going to get out someday if he lives that long.
Wow.
He could definitely get out someday. He won't know what's going to happen, but it'll happen. Someday they'll just push him out and he'll go, where am I? I'm outside?
I'm outside,
Oh,
y'all.
damn. Is that why they gave me all my stuff in this bag? And they took I put normal clothes on. I ain't seen these in a long time. This still in style, you think?
They still have gum.
Oh, boy.
The gum from the tape all over them.
Oh, my. Jesus Christ. Well, that is McIntosh, Florida. They're gone. Poor Heather Strong had a rough life and even worse ending to it. Terrible. That is Florida. Avoid Florida at all costs is what we're saying, except on February 21st when we'll be at the West Palm Beach Improv. Then come to Florida and see us and then leave under the cover of night as quickly as possible. Right through the Gulf or anywhere else you have to do, the ocean. The hell out of there.
For Christ's sake, stay out of Fords in Florida because the gators will get you.
They'll eat them right up. Eat you right up while you're in there. So do that. If you like the show, the way to show us is a very easy way. You can just go to iTunes, a purple little icon there, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. Just say something. It's not for our ego. It's really just to move up the charts. So that helps a lot. Do it in whatever podcast thing you listen to, whatever your podcast format is, player that you listen to. If they have reviews, throw a review down because it helps us out a lot. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com where you can get all of your merchandise, everything like that, all your t-shirts, all your mugs. Leggings are coming out. Ringtones are coming out in the next few days. We're recording them actually tonight, and I'm going to be editing them and getting them out in the next few days. So you're going to get ringtones here for the new year. Like we said, show note, listen on a new player if you listen on the Podcast One app because we will be on a new network. Get all your merchandise, all your tickets at the website. Also follow us on social media over on that website. There's links to that, which is at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and at Small Town Pod on Facebook.
Right.
Just Google search it. You'll find us there in those places, all the social media. Do that. And another thing you can do on our website is you can be one of our goddamn hero, best friend, fantastic producers who honestly we really love and we like exchange Christmas cards and shit.
Yeah, that was fascinating.
Thank you so much, guys. You can be one of these people by following the link on our website or going right to the site, to the address of patreon.com/crimeinsports, or you can go over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Right.
And you can make a one-time donation there, or as many time donation as you feel like. But you can do that there. And now we have to give you a long list of the people who have done this for us. Jimmy, deliver this list to me like you're a meth falcon and I've just said the N-word. Throw down on me now. Please, Jimmy. What do we got?
Executive producers this week are Chrissy Ann Castaldi, of course, Jared Waters, Katie Heisel. Thank you so much
Katie.
for everything, Katie.
Yeah.
Michael Coziella, Stephen Rude, Kelly Avery, Emmy Dumont, who's going through some shit. I'm really sorry, Emmy. She lost someone close to her.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to give too much.
We're sorry about that.
Thank you, Emmy, for everything you do for us.
Hopefully they weren't duct taped to a chair.
I hope you feel better about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Elizabeth Virac, April Murillo, Ellie Kamek. I think that's the Ellie that was in Texas. That sounds in Houston, remember?
Yeah, that sounds as bad as this whole thing's a blur. I actually do remember that.
And Susie Platt. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, guys. Couldn't do anything without you guys. Thank you.
Our other donations this week are Ben Cartledge, Jen Stevens, Amanda Burke, Thomas Smith, Martina Kunkel, Colby Moore, Brendan Abels, Tracy Jacobs, Iana Nelson, Bill Szynski, Lauren Demarath, Alex Hooper, Kelly Thirst Cappy, I think it's Capey. No. It's Thirsk. I know that.
All right. Well,
thank you, Kelly.
Half of it, right?
Justin Miller, Robin Albany, Jordan Bennett, Elizabeth Britton, Sarah Nicoletto, John Valcanar the third. There are 3 of those fellas in this world.
Not bad.
Annette Fries, times 2. She donated both
Thank
ways.
you so much.
Annette.
Appreciate that.
Alexis Seeger, like Bob. Thank you, Alexis. Megan
Thank you
Crowley.
for your night moves. Sorry, Megan Crowley. Didn't mean to step on your name.
Megan Crowley, Mandy Peterson, Amanda Paravito. Paravito.
Hey.
Paisan.
Hey,
right?
Paisan.
Paravito?
Probably. Yeah, I'm
Could be
say
Spanish.
So.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's possible. We share a lot of similarities.
Jesse Hartman, Andrew Bassinet, Michael Lakin, Laura Yarnell, Kay Overbay, Adrian Thomas. She's fantastic. That's the girl up in San Francisco.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yep. Laura, I said Laura. Ellen Farney, Amy Pajak. Paysack.
Amy Paycheck.
I think it's Payjack. Kevin Stamper, Wyvern Workshop. James Gilmore, Thomas Smith, Lacey Soniga. Yes. Heather D. Senesi. Descendancy. Sorry, Heather.
Sorry, Heather. We try.
Alexis
really
Seeger donated twice. Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you.
Norman Hydorn, Carrie Taylor, Heather April Rush, Heather and April Rush.
Oh.
They're 2 different people. Sorry.
Well, thank you, Heather
had no
and
last
April.
name. Lindsay Carmoni times 2. Thank you so much,
Thank
Lindsay. Jen Rogers or John? I think it's John Rogers. I think that's right. Piatella's OK Welding. That's the people that are just okay at it. Remember them?
We're all right.
Remember them?
Hey, don't fucking break.
We'll figure it out.
We're all right. Don't worry about it.
We'll fix that weld on your ball sack.
Yeah. How's that weld doing? It's okay. All right. Don't worry about it.
Maybe that's who did this scene for me.
Yeah, that's who did it.
Taylor Jones, Sean Wickham, Gary Howard, Levi Whitmayer, Morgan Gravenmeyer, Christopher Connolly, Mike, Mike Italag, Italag, Mike, thank you. Jonas Schmitz, James Aselta, Janice Hill, Matt Dietrich, Tara Jenkins, and Greg Stevens. You guys are fantastic. Thank you all for what you do for us.
Honestly, guys, we can't do it without you, and fuck, man, we really appreciate it. And a lot of you guys too, like, gave us nice amounts, I guess, for Christmas and the holiday. Gave us like a Christmas bonus or a tip, and we just can't thank you guys enough just for thinking about us to say, hey, you know what, those guys entertain me, and I'm going to throw a few bucks at them. It's awesome. Thank you guys. It blows us the fuck away every week, and it's honestly, it's not phony when we're like, wow, we just can't believe you do it. We just can't believe it. So
somebody added up
you guys.
the amount of hours that we've done, and it's over 1,000.
It's a shitload of hours.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're getting toward the 10,000 mark here.
Crazy.
So eventually we'll be good at this.
Yeah.
But until then, we'll keep coming back. And how can people find you to tell you that you're not good at it yet, Jimmie? How can they get a hold of you?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And this year was amazing, filled with dog pictures and all kinds of pets. Keep that going next year. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Where can they find you, James?
You can find me at Jimmie P is Funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description, because you will hurt yourself if you try to spell it. And I'm not normally too mushy or whatever, but I have to send a sincere thank you to all you guys for fucking changing our lives.
Truly.
For the immensely better. We can't thank you enough. Literally, we went from just, struggling comics that are just trying to break through and find an audience and find whatever, to like actually having something that's real that we can hang our hats on.
It's fun.
And it's great. And it's all because of you guys. And thank you guys for that, honestly, from the bottom of our fucking black shriveled hearts. We really, really appreciate you and everything you do for us.
The raisins in our chest.
Yeah, that's it. Find us all there, and keep coming back. Like we said, next week is the 100th episode, episode 100 on a new episode, so on a new network. So come check us out there. And until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.